2001 with the win? Let's find out. It's Melbourne versus the Western Bulldogs.
So here we go. Jeff White and Luke Darcy, the Dogs and the Demons, little more than pride at stake here this afternoon. White will get the big run over the top and he wins it. Picked up by Johnson, but he couldn't get away cleanly. Liberatore gets buffeted out of it. Eagleton was in there as well. Big day for him and we wish him well as he reaches a milestone. Darcy, Eagleton again. Little toe poke by Eagleton, only as far as White. White goes round the body. Croft can't take the mark. Harrison will be hoping to do the tidying up. Well, the free kick's going to go the way of Croft. Taken a little high in that contest. Matthew Croft in his 149th game. Now he's got Rowan Smith running here through halfback. Smith goes towards the centre, has a bounce, gets around one. Shepherding by Murphy, sees him clear. The Dogs go suddenly inside 50 once again. Big fly was by Grant, but he couldn't take the mark. Garlick held it for a long time and then got lost to the tackle. Nicholson applies plenty of pressure, gets the hand pass out the back door, but it was partly smothered. There's been a quick opening here. They both come to play despite their positions. West, a left foot step in towards full forward. Melbourne has the numbers. Oh, do they?
Well done.
No, they don't. It's stolen by Hunter. First goal of the day to Kingsley Hunter and the Dogs.
Well, what a goal, and the Dogs worked hard for it, Sandy. They classic football, the sort of football we're used to seeing them play. Johnson or Smith hard off the half-back line, running hard deep in the forward line, but a very frenetic start to the game. And the ball came, look at the attack on the football there by Kingsley Hunter, and that's the sort of footy Terry Wallace were really pleased to see the big fella open up with. Sure, that's just a start the Bulldogs were looking for.
Well, two surprises there, Fish, is that Kingsley Hunter normally plays in defence and starting full forward, and the other one, Troy Simmons, is manning him up. You think the lack of leg speed could be a problem.
Neitz is starting at full forward for Melbourne. Ellis has the job on him, but a good start by the Dogs with Kingsley Hunter getting his 14th goal for the season. Darcy just flicking it over the back to accommodate West, and he's got Johnson running. Brad Johnson, this is a different looking Bulldog side early on than we saw last week, towards Grant. He soccers off the ground. That was clever because he's kept it well in play towards Gian Syracuse, but smashed away by Peter Walsh. And we've got a throw in the Dogs' right forward pocket.
You know, Sandy, if the Demons are possibly the most disappointing side of the competition this year, the Bulldogs are the most unpredictable. You just don't know what they're going to do on any given day. They've opened up very strongly here, though.
Dimatina waiting his chance. Darcy goes over the back. The only one there, however, is Wowo defending, but he hasn't got a lot as he looks downfield. Eventually he's got to try and pull it back. Clever kick, had to be straight, and it was straight towards Daniel Ward. Gets it away to McDonald, who goes even further afield now towards Simmons. Simmons is caught. Cry of ball, they let it go. Walsh picks it up now. He puts Melbourne inside 50 towards Neitz. Neitz is almost turned inside out, but he almost took the mark. Ellis was there. Snap, a snap. Is it beauty, is it? Don't tell me Robertson's kicked it. He has. What a goal. What a goal. Russell Robertson kicks his 40th goal for the season, and the quick reply.
There's a bit of feeling early in this game. That was well done. Simmons wasn't aware that he was being tracked pretty carefully from behind, but this is the sort of footy that really helps the forwards. Long and deep, and Neitz nearly took a very smart mark there, but look at this, just forcing it forward, and Robertson, gee, he's clever, very clever player, and he scored just a typical goal from Russell Robertson there. That's a great answer for the Demons, but this game is hot early.
It's not the start we expected. Very little to play for. These two sides have come out raring to go, and it's good to see. Robertson gets the D's early goal. White wins it again. Schwarz was a target, but it missed. Johnson gets the hand pass away, and now they're out of trouble through Eagleton and Liberatore. Liberatore to half forward. Grant comes charging out. Oh, that's a good spoil by Nicholson. Grant's very quick to recover, though. Flicks it straight up in the air, but only as far as Walsh. Walsh gives it to White. White pops it over the top, a little dangerous. Finds Woden. He comes back across the ground towards Broadbridge, and he pops it out of bounds, unfortunately, on the full.
Well, White, under extreme pressure, put his own teammate under a lot more pressure than he was. Had to come the opposite side of the ground as they centre the ball. And Rowan Smith takes a good mark. He will have a shot on goal.
Sometimes, sure, the option of a kick long to space towards the boundary is the better one in that situation when you're running with your back to the general play.
Well, to handball like that, Fish,
handball.
if you kick the ball, at least he marks and he can hold the ball up. But when you handball, you know he's got to play on.
Yeah.
Rowan Smith, no problems as far as distance is concerned. Just drifting away to the left, however. And He can't add to his 18 goals that he's kicked this season. Hasn't had the opportunities in front of goal this year as he had last year. Booted 42 last year as the boys on the Melbourne bench. Brad Green in the middle there awaiting their opportunities.
Sandy, some great matchups in the midfield. Stephen Phoebe, who's played in defensive midfield for Melbourne on West. Godfrey's got Brown, Nathan Brown, and Adem has been picked up, of course, by Libba.
Broadbridge. Stephen Phoebe, by the way, in game number 258. Etching his way towards Robbie Flowers' games record of 272. White, the meat in the sandwich, waiting down Ward. Needs someone going past. It's Nicholson. Well, he had Walsh, but he decided not to use him. Schwarz picks it up on the half volley, but Croft is a very good tackle. Albie flicks it further forward, only to see Nicholson intercepted. Gets the hand pass away. Melbourne is steadied now after that first 60-second onslaught by the Bulldogs. Murphy is wide for the Dogs. Harrison will do the shepherding. Murphy has time. Robertson is shepherded out. He'll just flick it over the top. It's going to be okay, finding Eagleton on centre wing.
No, you can't do that. It was a nice try, though, by Eagleton. Geez, some good early signs for the Dogs with Smith getting a bit of it, Johnson getting a bit of it. It's the dude's got the work cut out there.
Croft takes them on and wins. Runs straight through the centre, going up towards half forward, and an excellent mark to chop it off once again is taken by Farmer. That was a great grab. White to the outer side. Neitz is now on centre wing. He's a long way from home, but he goes up towards Robertson and co again, and Robertson takes the mark. There's no one at home at all in the square. He needs to give it to someone who can roost it, and he does, but you've got to be straight, short hour. And the big ox is away to the right, out of bounds on the full.
Well, a lot of the skills are being executed under a bit of pressure at the moment, Shorey, and the game is going to take a little while to settle. Well, Ben Harrison got the job on Robinson. He's already had an impact early in this game.
Travis Johnson, boys, on for his first run for Melbourne. Was very good last week against the Dockers.
Darcy prances out of defence, but only as far as Uze. And here's the man you spoke of, Dougie, Travis Johnston. Just chipping short, finding Schwarz, who's 65 out. And he elects to go across the ground. This could be a little dangerous because West will come in and affect the spoil. And he does so brilliantly, passing it off towards Eagleton on half-back. Now they go up towards Garlick. Garlick's wide on left half forward. If he can keep it in play and if he can use that speed, he may get away, but he runs out of room.
Gee, that West contest, Shorey, wasn't that cleverly done by Scotty West? He just controlled the ball, put it back in his area where he could make the second effort. And that's why he's a champion, that bloke.
Been a role reversal too with Cameron Bruce, the fish. He's been playing up as a forward.
Yes.
Now he's been played down defence by Melbourne. Good work by Neil Danaher. See if he's got the ability to play in that area of the ground.
Nicholson up against Grant has a couple of attempts. Melbourne should get out of trouble. Woden is at half back, drifts it towards centre wing. A challenge for Schwarz. Croft is right there with him. Croft goes to ground. The door opens for the Ox. If he can pick it up and get rid of Croft. Well, eventually he does, and he gets assistance too, and he needs it in the form of Peter Walsh. Walsh may go back. He goes over the top of Schwarz, who leaves it, gets it back 46 metres out. It wasn't very pretty in the end, and it finishes with one behind. The hand pass coming from Simon Godfrey, and he just ties up the scores.
You know, it's good to see this sort of intensity, Shorey, in a game such as this, where, as Sandy's mentioned on a couple of occasions, pride is the main thing at stake here. Both sides of, well, playing with plenty of gusto.
And survival at AFL level. A lot of players playing for their careers.
Well, not only their careers, it's their job, it's their employment. Brown. Nathan Brown straight down the middle. Croft and Darcy coming in from the side. Takes the mark and plays on. Away he goes. Sneaky clear McDonald to Grant. Chris Grant, 48 out.
Well, that combination, Sandy, of Darcy and Grant been fantastic this year, those two players. They can really hold their heads high. But as we see Darcy with a bit of space, that's a wonderful kick for a big fella on the run. And really, Troy, just harking back to your comment about playing for careers, it's an indictment on them, really, in a way, if it comes around 22 and they raise the intensity based on the fact of playing for a career.
Well, that's probably why both these sides are where they are at the moment. They're just inconsistent over the year, and the coach has to make a decision. It won't be based on this game alone, but it can sway if you're right on the edge. It can sway a coach's thinking or a match committee's thinking.
I reckon round 22 is like Halloween. Strange things happen there.
We've seen that overnight, haven't we?
Yeah, my word. From kicking from 52. It's high, it's close, and it's there.
Well, I was going to say, was it a trick or was it a treat on the Halloween?
Beautiful.
It's a treat. It's a goal. Jeez, he's fantastic, this bloke. And we saw your All-Australian side recently, Shorey, and had Chris Grant at centre forward. Some would suggest a reasonable call given his season, but he's got some hot competition in James Hird, of course. But it's just that sort of football. He's rarely beaten in that position, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's out in front, outstretched.
Look, it hasn't been a stellar year, but a year where I think he still deserves the right.
Dogs by 6 points. There is Neil Danaher still looking for his first win against the Dogs. 6 points the margin. White again, a flying leap, wins it down to Uze beautifully with the left foot. He goes up towards the half-forward line. They've got a great opportunity here to score. Schwarz gets a call out the back. Leoncelli flicks it in towards goal and kicks a beauty. Oh, this is great stuff. Goal for goal.
Well, we've got someone down here. Someone's a bit stung in that passage of play.
I think it was Russell Robertson who handballed to Schwarz, who then handballed onto Leoncelli.
Can I just say, I'd love to frame. Look at this football. That's Jeff White at his quintessential best. Quick on the boot. That is what centre bounce midfield football is all about. Give your forwards a chance. And that's where Russell got stung there. But that goal from Leoncelli, he hasn't had a year he's going to remember for a long time. But that passage, that sort of goal is what he's capable of. There's Russell. He looks like he's got his win back, which is good to see. What great footy there by the Demons.
Leoncelli, goal number 11 for him for the season. Robertson, who went down, appears to be okay. White again looking to win it out of the middle, goes towards Ward. He shrugs a tackle and gets a hurry kick down towards the half-forward line. The D's are starting to settle now, and that's good news for them. Liberatore, decapitated. Not difficult to tackle Liberhide. It worries him not, and he comes wide to Harrison and left it behind. He goes again back to Liberatore. Liber will just poke it over the top. He's given Murphy a decent old challenge, and well done by Uze to find the line.
Not happy with himself, sure. He's young, well, not young Liber. Old
Not
Liber.
happy, Liber.
Not happy. Not happy at all. He knew once he'd given that handball that he'd sold his teammate into trouble there.
How many times have he tackled around the neck like that in his career?
Woden couldn't take it. Johnston finds some space, and he does well. And he cruises through the centre. But what's he got to kick to? He goes long, down towards Schwarz. Couldn't quite pick it up on the half volley. Croft gets him. Neitz comes in to assist. Still going is Neitz. He's got to beat a couple. Curley's right on his hammer. Gian Siracusa is there to assist Curley. He swings around in a wide arc, then just pops it over the top. Got a call from Curley, but has to ride as Peter Walsh came over the top. Couldn't take the mark. Schwarz plays on. Leoncelli, 30 out. He goes to ground. Got to get the hand pass away to Neitz. You got to be. You're too slow. Oh, this has got everything in the opening minutes. This has got everything.
Dropping the ball, Sandy. Matthew Robbins, a great tackle.
Where was his peripheral vision, sure, you wonder?
Well, Robbins is celebrating his 50th game today. Now, this is fantastic. Harrison, a chip over the top wide towards Curley, and he takes the mark. Good mark, too, going with the flight of the ball. He has a couple of bounces. Can drift it in towards the middle now. It's the Dogs' turn to go forward. This is Ellis. Eagleton. 55 out. Caught well by Shane Woden.
I think we've seen a couple of examples why these sides are where they are at the moment. That peripheral vision you said with Neitz is the reason I think he plays better as a forward, not a defender. On that occasion, it wasn't great as a forward, but he just doesn't pick them up at times.
White finds Johnston. Scores locked together at 13 points apiece.
Sure, just beyond the play, watch Simon Godfrey and Nathan Brown. Simon Godfrey's not give Brown 1 inch at all.
Not a bad start, Dougie, to this game, is it?
Terrific start.
Door might open here for the Dogs as Murphy tries to make Melbourne pay. It won't, however. McDonald goes with a high kick up towards Neitz, who this time takes the mark, and he'll go back and kick the goal.
Well, sure, I have to agree with you. He's just looked so natural in that role. He presents himself so well, and he is a front position player, capable of taking the big mark from behind. But Craig Ellis is not an easy player to outmanoeuvre like that, and he's done it with some ease. He's proving to be a fantastic target. His work ethic early in this game, well, he's leading by example. There's no doubt about that.
The other reason I think Neitz also, I think he converts normally well. I'm putting the moz on him here.
I'll tell you,
Here we go. I know I'm going to hear it.
He's kicked 34 goals and 33 behind, so he's a 50-50 chance.
No, he's not, Sandy.
Look at that. He's now kicked 35-33. Well done.
To be specific, sure is saying actually from outside 50 on a 45-degree angle.
That was it. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
This is a great start to the game, isn't it? Thoroughly enjoyable to watch. And you often wonder with around 22 fixtures, some sides, we've mentioned earlier, it's a bit of a final, but that gives a forward a chance. One-on-one contest.
Is the other thing, Paul, the coach might say, look, go out, enjoy yourself. Just have a good day.
Yeah, break the shackles.
David Neitz gets his first goal. He hasn't missed a game this year. And again, it's West, however, for the Dogs, who takes it out of the centre, down towards the half-forward line. He was looking for Gian Siracusa, and he's still looking for him. Walsh is on his hammer. Gian Siracusa tries to get the hand pass away. Liberatore pops it straight up towards Eagleton. He's having plenty early on. Eagleton from 46 goes short, and that's going to be okay, because the mark has been taken by Kingsley Hunter, who kicked the first goal of the day.
As I said earlier, Fish, I don't like that matchup. Simmons normally plays in the ruck, comes off the bench when White needs a rest. Kingsley Hunter would have to get him with speed.
Plays on, Shorey. He plays on. He bends it back, but not nearly enough. Grant can't take the mark. He needs Brown there, who just pokes it over the line in the end, and a throw-in to take place in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, give it a little bit of
Grant.
space. Grant doesn't look well there, does he? A bit proppy. He's like he was falling on there.
From the throw-in, it's Walsh to get Woden.
Chris Grant, boy, sorry, sir.
We got him, Dougie.
Sorry, Sam, he's been crooked for a couple of weeks with that ankle.
Has he? Farmer on centre wing. Phoebe calling for it in the middle. Keep an eye on him, Dougie. Will it be the end of his day? Let's hope not. Simmons kicks to half forward. Croft. Oh, Harrison will help him. Well, neither can take it. It's left to the youngster, Murphy, who gives it to Smith. He's got Gian Siracusa wide on centre wing, and he can run. Away goes Daniel Gian Siracusa. Couple of bounces. Tries to draw the player in Walsh, gives it across to Garlick. He's going to have to be pretty snappy, and he is from 52 metres towards Johnson in the forward line, and he takes the mark. That was a little too easy.
That was beautifully constructed, Sandy. What you've got to appreciate there is that the options weren't available downfield. Chris Grant did his best to actually provide a lead, but they controlled the ball through it, didn't they? They didn't rush it. They waited till something presented itself, and on this occasion it was Johnson.
25 out. Testing little angle.
Well, you talk about conversion, Sandy. He has had a horrid month in kicking on goal, Brad Johnson. Might be all right over the year, but his last month has been very ordinary. We can see Chris Grant here in the marking contest. Oh, it looks like someone just stood on his ankle as he went to the ground. It was Jeff White. Let's have a look at it again from another angle. Oh, yeah, stood on his calf muscle. That would have hurt. Jeff White, how big would he be? 100 kilos?
He'd be a nudge over 100 kilos for sure.
Here's Godfrey in the back pocket, short to Leoncelli. Still in the back pocket. Still on that last line of defence. McDonald chipping towards Woden. A couple of Brownlow medalists there with Liberatore on Woden's mark. McDonald has made the room and taken the mark. Now decides to go longer up towards Robertson. Harrison is right there with him. Scotty West at the back. Challenge, but is able to get it away towards Alvey. He's been in pretty good form of late. A little chip to Eagleton. Now longer to Gian Siracusa, who marks inside 50. Wants to go on with it, is told to now, so he does to Garlick.
Well, the game's starting to settle a bit now. We see both sides just making a little bit of mistake. Nathan Brown's come on the side onto the. He hasn't had a touch yet, actually. Nathan Brown for the Bulldogs, and Nathan Brown for the D's has just come on. So it's going to be an interesting 5 or so minutes of football, because both sides have been setting a cracking pace early.
Simon Garlick, originally from Sydney, where he debuted in '94. He's ripped that away to the left, just trying to find that extra distance.
Yeah, just when you try and do that, it often goes to the left. A long kick guy who's trying for that extra distance will drag his leg across his body. It's not uncommon to see that sort of result.
I've never done that, Fish. I always had 3 kicks from there.
Nicholson with 6.5 minutes remaining. Darcy to send the Dogs back into attack. Johnson saying we're down here. Go long. He spears it in towards the forward line. Well, clean bowls a couple and it's left to Grant. Nicholson at the back. Again, Grant is ripped to the ground. Is he going to get a free kick? No, said the umpire.
That umpire was 5 metres away from there, unless he said that he played up to that for that free kick.
We'll have a look at it, see what you think. Oh,
well, you can't land on his back. He just didn't have a saddle on that occasion.
Nicholson from behind. Grant was in front. Toe poke forward, and now a free kick to Melbourne. The whistle sounded, the advantage is paid. Robertson marks on the half-back line, gives it away to Phoebe. Phoebe chips up towards centre wing and finds Uze. The leading kick winner in the league is Adem Uze. Started today with 402 kicks under his belt, and he's certainly adding to that early on. Schwarz. Not paid.
Well, he had no option there. He had very little option. Schwarz worked hard across the ground to provide it. And with Luke Darcy pushing back to form a line, he's enforced the scenario whereby they had to go wide down the line and the corridor was too full.
Schwarz and Croft again. Garlic over the top. Liberatore, as he always is.
Just on that one
as well.
Sorry, Sandy. Fish, just on the Darcy-White matchup, early stages, how do you see it at this stage?
Both sides wrestling for both players wrestling for a little bit of ascendancy in that one, Hawk, and out of the centre, White's a little bit on top.
Darcy around the ground, I'd say.
Just a little bit of nudge ahead around the ground, fair enough.
Darcy's had 4 possessions, and Jeff White's, well, he's had 5, so yeah, pretty even at the stage.
Robertson, beautiful little flick to Uze going past. He's only got it accurate, and he is! What a goal! The D's open up a little bit of breathing space. 4-1 plays 2-2.
Geez, he's damaging. He's dangerous. If you just give him a yard, he'll make the most of it. He'll punish you. Look at that. That's just good boundary line work. There's a long hit forward to the boundary. Robertson's being creative. And Uze, we know he likes to run forward aggressively, particularly out of those stop play situations. And he's done it yet again. He's see the corner of the eye. He's had a look. He knows he's got a yard. And he's used it to his full advantage. That's a great finish from a great player who's had a great season.
21 goals now for the season, 21-25 to Adem Uze. And Melbourne sneaking clear by 11 points. Not a lot in this game. Garlick's kick is smothered, however. Phoebe tackles West. Liberatore pokes it out wide. Croft tries to smack it further forward. He is successful to a degree, but there has been a little throw. Oh, and speaking of throws, welcome back.
Well, I don't know whether the umpire had to go up to the Melbourne player in Daniel Ward. I thought that Rowan Smith was the one who started that.
Well, it's Ward who's got the free kick. He's on centre wing.
We're seeing a bit more of that, aren't we, at those free kicks or marks with the players scragging, holding on and just taking it to the nth degree.
Neitz couldn't take it. Liberatore and Uze smashed back, paddled towards the line by Curley. And still he's there. Hassled, but he gets his kick. That's a good effort. Oh, Rowan Smith gets an awful bounce. He did well to just tap it over the top of Phoebe. Garlic under the pump. Spirals one towards the interchange area, and it sails over with Chris Grant. In hot pursuit of him is Alistair Nicholson.
Great move by Neil Danaher. It looks like, we can see here, the fisticuff. Oh, not much in that. Show of strength. Adem Uze's pushed forward on Tony Liberatore. I think that's a great move.
Oops, Schwarz appreciates that one, coming from Daniel Ward. Now Phoebe runs his distance and spears it into half forward. A little too quick maybe for Neitz. He couldn't take the mark. Ellis gives it away towards his teammate there in Harrison, and they'll get out of trouble towards centre wing.
Well, I think he just had to weight that kick a little bit better than Neitz. It was a bullet, wasn't it? Made it very difficult for him.
Croft almost into the middle. Murphy's wide. Running there is Liberatore. He's the link in the chain. He gets flattened and the advantage is paid. Don't worry, Liber will pick himself up again, and Kingsley Hunter takes the mark.
Well, sure, you've picked that from early in the game. Hunter with a bit of space to run into is really going to test Simmons on the lead. Simmons okay one-on-one if the ball comes in long, but he needs help from his teammates to get back and fill some of those holes, doesn't he?
Yeah, look, he's slow leg speed. He's a ruckman, really, not a key defender as in a fullback. Maybe centre half back where you get a bit of help, Fish.
Hunter from 52. Good-looking kick. straightening up beautifully for a goal. His second.
Well, here's a bloke who's come over from the West. Had a couple of years been tried. He's been tried in both ends of the ground, but he's a natural forward. He reads the ball really well coming into the forward half of the ground. He knows where to get to. That's Libba, who's run aggressively from behind to receive.
David Schwarz slung him to the ground. That's why the advantage was paid. We just missed it there. But that was a great pass by June Siracusa.
Oh, look, well, look at those hit-outs already. We've been very impressed with White's opening to the game. 6-1, and the clearance is 7-zip Melbourne's way.
Melbourne by 5 points. White. Wide. Uze leads in the race. He's got a kind bounce, but he can't get clear. He's got time enough, however, to give the hand pass away. Leoncelli goes long. Farmer rarely sighted. Oh, there, here he is, the wizard. Just gets booped the ball and Murphy stops it. White start by Farmer, but we know that he's capable of exploding. Eagleton and West combining. Curley too. Todd Curley is on the half-back flank, just goes short on centre wing, and Luke Darcy.
Paul Hutch is going on, boys.
Croft smack bang in the middle if he wants him. That's where he goes, but now there's suddenly a line of 3 Melbourne players, and Croft beats them all. Gives them to Bubba Smith. Smith goes up towards the half-forward line. Johnson showed courage. Grant bends it back. He bends it back a little too far. No, he doesn't. He finds Kingsley Hunter.
Well, it's time for a change. It's time for the change to the Melbourne side.
Well, what is a change? You don't want to take Neitz out of the forward line, of course. You need to get someone of some speed, some size. Maybe swap Nicholson around, because takes Simmons out.
Hunter for his third. This to regain the lead for the Dogs, which he does. Kingsley Hunter has 3 goals, and the Western Bulldogs lead by 1 point.
I've got a natural one there. I think Troy Broadbridge could go back there. He's played across half-back and also in defence, but to kick 3 goals just before quarter time, you have to make a change. Chris Grant kicks across his body, a dangerous kick, and even in body strength it looks like he's struggling, Troy Simmons.
Doggy fans have come to life again with a couple of quick goals to regain the ascendancy with under 2 minutes left in the quarter.
What about the courage of Johnson in that contest before?
Going back with the pack.
It's amazing.
Wonderful player. White and Darcy. Well, it's left to Darcy to go it alone. He gives it to Liberatore. Suddenly they've turned it round. Where's Chris Grant? Right there. Could have been held. He was at the umpire.
Well, I've got to say, this is where Melbourne have been stretched all year, Shorey, and it's in the key defensive post. Nicholson's done a manful job, but this guy, Grant, is all class, and he's worked his way to the front. All over him.
Anthony Ingerson, as you know, Fish, retired during the year, and he put a lot of pressure on the Melbourne defence once he left there.
Yes, he has. Well, that's right. He was great. He really stood up well for them last year, and it's a shame this is where they forced their hand a little bit with Simmons having to push him into defence. He's a young bloke who will learn a lot about the caper.
But Troy Broadbridge has been fairly good all year. He's had ups and downs, but he's a young player. Just give him game time.
You got this boy in your All-Australian team?
Chris Grant?
Yep.
Yeah, centre forward.
Already been in 3 All-Australian sides. Here he is for his second goal of the day from 42 metres out. And he just squeezed it through on the wrong side. A let-off for Melbourne.
Well, I think he's been unfairly criticised in the past with his kicking. He does miss some sitters, though. I think just a player of his calibre, you'd probably expect him to be able to kick those 7 or 8 times out of 10.
He kicked 40 last year, and he's kicked 44 so far this year. 44 goals, 29.
Good return from a centre forward, Sandy, I'd say.
Yep. Leoncelli.
I think it's just been the major factor has been that the Western Bulldogs haven't made the 8 where they've made it over the last 5 years, and people say, well, he must have had as good a year, but that's wrong.
Phoebe's kick is a poor one. It's chopped off by Scotty West. He's got under a minute to add to the scoreline. He kicks to half forward. There was an early leap, and it's certainly got to go the way of Melbourne.
I think that was young Guido.
Syracuse, a little enthusiastic.
I think when you're young playing footy, sure, you learn your limitations pretty quickly, don't you?
What about Steve Phoebe, Fish? I know it's early in the game, but will he go on next year? He's had a fantastic last month being a tagging player instead of just a player playing off halfback.
He may have recreated himself,
one more year.
Reinvented himself.
Johnston to Walsh towards centre wing, and Daniel Ward cries of Danny. He holds it up on centre wing and goes back to Johnston. This is the last roll of the dice. They're going to need a mark before the floating punt kick is not pretty. David Neitz traps it with the siren sounds. Good first quarter here at Colonial in a game with very little riding on it. These two sides have given us a very, very entertaining first term. It is the Western Bulldogs that lead by 2 points. Check the goal kickers. Kingsley Hunter has been the only multiple scorer on the ground. He has 3. Chris Grant has 1. Whilst for Melbourne, singles to Neitz, Uze, Robertson and Andrew Leoncelli. It is quarter time at Colonial. The Bulldogs are 4-3, leading Melbourne 4-1. Here we go then. Second quarter.
I think a couple of those moves were made for aesthetic effect, I think. Brad Green on. He's a pin-up boy. A few of the others.
Whoa, for a rub down, if you don't mind. Jeffrey White smashes it wide towards centre wing. Johnson may get a chance because unfortunately Funk slipped at the critical stage. Goes down towards the half-forward line, a little too high for Nicholson. Grant tries to peg it back. Socket off the ground by Smith. Taken away quickly towards the boundary line by Troy Simmons. It's going to stay in, however. Nathan Brown, a frustrated Nathan Brown, is well tackled by Simon Godfrey.
Well tackled indeed, and I think he just hasn't got any space at the moment, Brown. There he's brought down, and I think he's going to have a long day at the office, Shorey.
Yep.
He's going to be careful. Going to have to be careful.
And it's Melbourne clearing through Ward. Back towards the half-back line. Smashed by Woden, but straight to Scotty West. He's got to get clear of McDonald, so he backpedals towards Eagleton. He's in a ton of trouble. They pounce on him.
Well, good decision from the umpire there. I think he was tempted to blow the whistle on that one and give a free, but it was he sort of ducked into it a bit, didn't he, Eagleton?
He was falling to the ground.
Yeah, he was going down, so that's good umpiring. This contest between White and Darcy is thoroughly enjoyable so far early in this game. Look at this.
Just forward of centre wing at the moment. Phoebe, the hand pass, didn't quite find its mark. Brown still can't get into the game. It's pushed wide. McDonald may get a chance here. Croft on his hammer. McDonald shies away and clears from Croft and kicks towards Neitz. He couldn't take it cleanly. Ellis is there with him. Neitz and Farmer. Here's the Wizard. Centering kick is good to Schwarz. I reckon he thought for a moment about swinging around and having a shot, but then he saw the Ox, who was directly in front. And he'll go back and shoot from 30 metres out, almost directly in front.
I think that's an area of this game where he's got a lot better the last couple of years, a couple of seasons, is that he always looks into the corridor and he wants to feed off to his teammates a lot more. He used to try and do it by himself, Fish, a hell of a lot, but now that was great play to open up the front of the goals.
It's almost like a sign of maturity in a way, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt.
You're growing into the role.
7 possessions in the first quarter for David Schwarz, and he's kicked a goal. Melbourne regains the lead.
Well, that's good team football, Shorey. As you mentioned, the Wiz, he attacked the front of the pack hard. He won possession. In days gone by, he may have even swung onto his left in situations like this. See the ball come forward there, and his good position is good. That just wrestling there. Wiz is with his speed, with his pace there, front of the pack. He may have gone to his left in days gone by, but that's a good square up, good centre. Schwarz has done the right thing, pushing aggressively into the corridor, into the space to provide the option. So the Demons got their noses in front. Good game of football.
4 points the margin early in the second quarter. Again, it's Darcy and White. White floating over the top, trying to find Uze, but Croft intercepts. Liberatore tries to poke it wide as the umpire slips. It's picked up by Uze, who gives it to Phoebe. Phoebe's got time to straighten up here. Look to half-forward once again. He wants the Wizard. Johnston's away. There's some holding on going on here.
Robbins.
And it's going to go the way of the Dogs. Robbins. Is that against Farmer?
Yep. Took him to the ground off the ball once the ball never got to him on the full.
Looks like 52. He's
Well, the Dogs don't realise it.
It's a good matchup. Good matchup for Jeff Farmer, Matthew Robbins. He's fairly quick, he's strong.
Is this another 50?
No, it's a Farmer for back chatting umpire Vozzo there, so just didn't like the call.
Umpire who?
Vozzo.
Not a bad 50. Up to the half-forward line. Walsh couldn't clear. Ward, maybe a chance with the hand pass. He's got to be quick, and he is. It's a hurried little kick from Nathan Brown of the Demons. Curley on all fours. Johnston. Curley. Between centre wing and right half forward. Todd Curley to send the Dogs forward. Farmer's coming from the ground. Interesting. Curley. Simmons. Strong mark.
Well, Neil Danaher certainly letting it be known that no one's immune to undisciplined acts.
Exactly right. Curley tried to smash the Schwarz kick clear, but he was unsuccessful, and it sails over the boundary line on centre wing.
Well, it's like any player, Fish. Players who get reported for abusive language, it just shouldn't occur, because most of the times you have a go at an umpire who says, "Are you talking to me?"
Yeah.
And if you swear again at him, he'll give you a 50 or he'll report you, and it shouldn't occur if you're in control.
I can tell you what, that wasn't a happy Father's Day phone call either he got there.
I tell you what, Sandy, Jeff Farmer did a lot of listening, didn't speak once.
What did you get for Father's Day, Sandy?
A teapot. Very nice one. There it is again.
It was there.
So, Liberatore, like a wrestler, holds his man down for the count and then asks the question. And picking himself up, that young lady's got a wish, because Brad Green is on the ground and she would be happy.
Well, they may have a direct line to the coach. If we see Woden on the bench having a rub down in a few minutes, we'll know that there's something suspicious going on.
Darcy used his body well, but smashing it clear only as far as McDonald. Nice little chip on the mark taken by Phoebe. Now he's going to be kicking from 55. This will test him, but he's had a good game so far. He's picked up 9 possessions. .52 metres. He goes close to the man on the mark. The kick is away to the right and through for one behind.
Well, this game is now starting to settle into a game where the Bulldogs are pushing a bit more aggressively defensively. The transitions aren't as quick because neither side are getting quite as much space. A bit more accountability out there at the moment, Shorey.
Yes, there is, especially in midfield. And we can see Jeff Farmer. Well, he's got a cop it on the chin. It was undisciplined. First, the free kick. Well, you give away free kicks, but when you mouth off to the umpire, 50-metre penalties, they really hurt your team.
Interesting to see Steve Phoebe having a good finish to the season. Would you keep him for next year too? Will he win a contract for next year, Shorey?
Well, we were speaking about that. His last month's been brilliant as a tagger, so he might have played himself into another year.
Liberatore needs someone going past. Please give those umpires some stops. They need something. Garlic, clever kick, Johnson.
The umpire there, Sandy, just fell over. Just hit the deck. Vozzo, is it?
Just been celebrating Father's Day a bit earlier, I think. You know what it's like, Dougie?
Well, watch on replay there. Garlic, good evasive action there and fantastic vision. He saw where he wanted to get it to just before he had the player come at him, so he's done very well. But Demons just caught in the transition there.
Here he is, the 1999 club champion, All-Australian last year, kicking for goal from 40 metres and kicking truly. Johnson gets his first, and the seesawing struggle continues at Palladium.
I picked him in my All-Australian side in the forward pocket too, Sandy. I don't know how many goals you might be able to check up for the year now. As I said, he's had the kicking yips in the last month. The 46 is a great return as a small forward. It was either him or Nigel Lappin, but on this occasion, Ross Funky's got the job on him. One area where the Demons might fail is that they've got a lot of tagging roles in midfield, Fish.
1 point the difference. The Dogs hitting back. Johnson gets his first goal. And it's his 46th for the year. Here's Travis Johnston. Towards McDonald. Murphy is with him, the youngster from Warragul. McDonald, Murphy, they go to ground. The Dogs have the numbers. Murphy, the young man, does well. Tries to poke it wide. Smith couldn't take it cleanly. In comes Johnston again towards Russell Robertson. In front, strong one grab mark.
Oh, but talking about the standing leap. I mean, you can talk defensively, that was very poor. But the standing leap of Robertson there in front. Now, look, should know better, Harrison. He's disappointed with himself for very good reason there, sure. He should have taken the arms at least.
Well, we talk about athleticism in football now. There's not a lot of natural footballers. On that occasion, athleticism came into it.
Robertson for his second. This goal-for-goal shootout continues.
Well, it doesn't. It's very entertaining football for a lot of reasons. We're getting a bit of a seesaw battle here.
Yep.
The midfield, neither midfield's really been able to gain any real ascendancy. Yet it's the forwards that are really making the most of the opportunities that when it does come in.
The only signs that I meant about the midfield of Melbourne was that a few players, Rowan Smith hasn't touched the ball much, Brown hasn't touched them. They get on top, they get back into the game, so they're close without that happening.
Brown hasn't touched it at all. 2 goals to Russell Robertson. Melbourne again lead by 5 points. Darcy and White. Won by White. Look at Uze rip it out of the middle, but he kicks it into the back of Murphy. He'll go again and pick up another possession. Again, it was partly smothered. Smith couldn't take it. Liberatore's at the bottom of the pack. Leoncelli over him, and so to Uze. And we've got a bounce.
Looks like...
Gee, Godfrey's gone down behind play.
I told you, boys, watch this one. Nathan Brown and Simon Godfrey here.
Well, the goal umpire was there, Dougie. He saw it, and he hasn't come out to report anybody. Does he do that at the break of play if there's an incident? So just have to wait and see.
Well, he's picked himself up pretty smartly, and play goes on. We'll just have to wait and see. The hand pass comes the way of Woden. He's on half back. Well smothered by Hudson. Woden's going to have to go again. Tries to sock it. He just gets his boot to ball towards his teammate Nathan Brown. Chopped off by Eagleton. Eagleton goes into the middle. Murphy traps it, but then has to go wide to Garlick. Garlick through heavy traffic, kicks it high. They're inside 50 once again. Woden pokes it straight down the throat of Gian Siracusa. Here he goes to Hudson, but there's been a whistle.
Against Nathan Brown. I would take him off for a spell now, Sandy.
Yeah, he is a frustrated young man.
Didn't even look at the ball. He just ran straight into the back, although he got his hand to the ball, but free kick, no doubt.
The umpire had his whistle to the mouth almost
he knew it was coming, I think.
a couple of seconds prior to contact there. He saw it coming.
Woden at halfback. By his own admission, thinks he might only poll one Brownlow vote this year after a stunning season last year. Croft tried to flick it back in. Farmer caught by Garlick.
I'm sure he would have been happy with one Brownlow vote. No, wouldn't you?
I think you're right, Fish and Shaw. I think you're right. I think Nathan Brown will come from the ground, have a bit of a breather, and young Jordan McMahon will have his first run for the Doggies.
Yep, you're spot on, Dougie.
Yeah, good move. Just sit him down and say, look, we'll get you into another role later in the game.
And good luck to young Jordan McMahon, just playing his 4th game. Darcy smashes it straight to Woden. He pumps it up towards the half-forward line. Curley's waiting down. The advantage is going to be paid to the Dogs, and they are away. This is Matthew Robinson, game number 50 over the centre. He goes towards Hudson, but he couldn't take the mark. Woden was the spoiler. Oh, great recovery by Hudson to effect the spoil on Walsh. A great second effort. Murphy couldn't take it. McDonald gets clear. Chips in towards the centre, and the mark is not taken by Johnston. It's well spoiled by Garlick. He cocked one high, and he made sure the umpire saw it, and he's going to go back and take the free kick.
Well, plenty of passion in this game. It's great football to watch. Both sides really throwing themselves at the contest, and there's some indiscriminate frees, but, well, that's the price you pay when there's enough feeling and effort going into the contest.
Garlick towards centre wing. Talk about effort. There's another one there from Nathan Brown of Melbourne. Towards centre wing. There could have been some holding on there. Going against Brown. He goes again. He paddles it to the line.
Well done.
He's done a grand job. Nathan Brown, he's a 25-year-old. He came from West Adelaide.
So this game, the pace for sure is worthy of a final, isn't it? In a lot of ways.
And there's the other Nathan Brown. Contrasting games for the Brown boys. Garlick in trouble. Held it for a long time. Schwarz receives after a good curly tackle. Schwarz kicks towards Neitz. Neitz tries to give it to Robertson. It was a clever little push. Robertson can't get towards Ellis. Maybe Neitz can, but he bumped him. He didn't try and tackle him. And there's been a free kick, but it's going to go back to Harrison in the back pocket.
Garlick's on it, centre back.
He's alone. Perhaps it's his name suggesting something, because he is all alone. Here's the young boy who's just come onto the ground.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful kick to half forward. Hudson's deadly in this situation. And you give him a rap, so you can just guess the result of that. It'll be out of bounds, but there's been a whistle.
Bring it back.
He's going to get another shot. Woden can't believe it.
After he's disposed of it, Shane has just been a little bit late on the scene.
Oh, now, come
What's he
on.
meant to do?
Wasn't a little bit late at all.
No.
What is he meant to do?
He was committed to the contact.
I've seen that Jordan McMahon a few times this year. He is a superstar of the future. I know he hasn't played, and I say he is silky skilled. I can't believe he hasn't played a lot more in the second half of the season.
Boys, Nathan Brown of the Dogs is back out on the ground. Well, he gets another chance. He popped the first one out on the full, and he's made them pay. He's kicked the goal, and Woden is not happy, Jan.
That's not the first time he hasn't been happy, Sandy. And look, he's got justification for not being pleased with that. He was committed to the contact. It was almost spot on the point of execution there, arguably. So we've got Godfrey coming back on the field now during the stopping play.
I'd like to watch what happens when he runs straight to him. I wonder if he'll bump him, Fish, as he gets close to him. Godfrey on Brown.
He's a dead-eyed dick, isn't he, Paul Hudson?
Godfrey back on Brown. So that little duel will continue. White, oh, he wins it beautifully to Uze. Long and low to the half-forward line. Johnson couldn't take it on the half volley. Croft to tidy up on the last line of defence, and he does it pretty well, getting it away towards Robbins, who looks towards centre wing, and Garlick again. Garlick had it, lost it, goes again. He gets caught. Leoncelli almost threw that ball out.
No, free kick, Liberatore in the back. I think it's Leoncelli.
Yeah. It is 6-3, plays 6-2. The Bulldogs by a point. Leoncelli has White short.
Just got to tell you what, his form, I saw him last week, and this week it's been the Jeff White
of old.
No doubt about that. He is, when he's on song, he's a great player to watch.
He kicks long to half forward. Oh, ridden into the ground with the Eagleton tackle was construed pretty good. McDonald picks it up, goes in towards full forward, and Farmer! Oh, Wizard, be careful!
He's about to take it off him, wouldn't you, boys?
Oh, you just never know with a whiz.
Well, he's been scragged in those one-on-ones. Robbins is doing a mighty job early in this game.
Have a look again.
Good body use.
Have a look.
There it is, that's leather, genuine pigskin. In case you didn't know Matty already.
Coming in for his fifth possession.
From 20 metres, he kicks the goal. And David Neitz say, don't worry about that, let's get on with it. Farmer gets his first.
Well, I'd say, Fish, if you got to this stage in the second quarter, 16-minute mark, nearly 17-minute mark, and Jeff Farmer's only kicked one goal, you'd be quite happy, wouldn't you?
Well, Neitz is having a bit of a
there we go.
You want to be careful here, boys. We know Mad Monday doesn't start for a couple of days.
You're having a go, are you, boys?
Have a look at this. Schwarz and Croft, they're out of it. Neitz.
Oh, and Jeff Farmer behind the scenes having a real go here at Robbins. And now Robbins has got middle.
They're coming from everywhere. Play goes on. It's down to full forward once again. Melbourne a chance to score, but it's West who chops it off. The fighting is over, thank heavens for that. And Johnson takes the mark on centre wing. Well, you'd think it was round one, and we've waited all summer for the season to start, but that's not the case. Johnson kicks to the half-forward line. Grant rides one heavy bump. Got to get past Nicholson. He gives it to the left-footed Darcy. Darcy goes into half-forward. The lead is good, and Hunter takes the mark. And the Wiz is still working overtime in the background.
Well,
there's plenty of, looks like what seems to be a few reports.
I hope they don't start Mad Monday, because they may be required at the tribunal on Tuesday.
I have known a few people to go up the tribunal in not the greatest state, Sandy.
Dear. 5 points the difference. It's Melbourne that leads, but Hunter can regain the lead for the Dogs with his fourth, and he does. He's the difference at the moment in the ball line.
Well, I don't think we've seen it very often when the ball's kicked forward and there's 6 or 8 players fighting there. So we can see the umpire is...
Craig Ellis looked like he was Muhammad Ali at his confident best. He was shaping up. Look, this is the feeling is admirable between these two sides. The game has been played at a cracking pace, but you have to wonder, have they been just tucking it away for today, have they?
Well, if there's 3 or 4 players reported, you don't want to be missing, well, you might only be an Ansett Cup games if you miss early.
Kingsley Hunter has 4 goals. It looks as though Farmer, Neitz, Ellis and Robbins have all had their numbers taken. I'm sure Doug will be able to confirm that possibly at half-time or at the end of the game. 7-3 plays 7-2 again. It's a 1-point margin, and we'll see if we can check on just how many times so far the lead has changed hands. 8 times so far in the game. Extraordinary. And it continues. Gee, it's these sort of conditions where maybe the Wizard or someone like that can absolutely explode. McDonald goes to the charging Neitz. Oh, he couldn't quite take the mark. It was a good spoil. West applies a solid tackle. They're playing for keeps here at the moment. Oh! And now the umpire assuming control with that late throw after the whistle had sounded.
Well, this is when the Bulldogs are at their best. This could be the blood rule, I'd say. He's looking to see if there's any blood on him.
He had a little some strapping in his nose.
But this is where the Bulldogs are at their best. Annoying opposition sides. And that was Adem who gave that pick up.
Well, that could be costly because Croft is away on centre wing. Flat-looking punt towards Grant, who makes good ground. Well, they may pay a heavy price for that. Grant short again. And Nathan Brown.
That's what you've got to do.
No, he's not going to turn it over.
This could incite a riot if he's not careful. They've got to get him off, maybe. They've held him off once.
Well, Sandy, that was the greatest con job of all time.
Of course it was.
Umpires shouldn't fall for that. I really believe that.
That is dead set home and away material.
What umpire is that again?
Umpire Michael Vozzo.
That was Academy Award stuff, that.
Godfrey, even our cameraman are getting in the act. Wasn't what, says young Chris. He's furious. To half forward, and we've got to be very careful here because this is an explosive situation.
Well, here it is. Oh, look at that.
No, that's right.
That is akin to netball, isn't it?
And what, who took the mark? Who passed it? I'm not sure who passed it to Brown then, but I think it was Chris Grant. Did the right thing. You've got to try and bring him into the game.
Yep.
Give him the opportunities, because that's the only way you're going to start putting the wind up the tagger.
Schwarz from the bounce. Liberatore lurking. It's a gang tackle situation once again.
Do you think, sure, it's the umpire's attempt just to take control of the game again?
Oh, no, that was just ridiculous and a wrong decision. And I just saw the runner from the Western Bulldogs go out and say to Brownie, that wasn't your fault.
They'll give away the soft ones, won't they? Traditionally, they'll do that.
That's unacceptable at this level. Fancy if that was in a finals match.
Curley and Uze. It's just inside 50. Darcy used the body well over the head of Uze. Now he's picked out another one here.
Sure, he's got his wish, Sandy. Yes, Broadbridge has gone down to take up Hunter.
Here's Johnson going towards West. Didn't quite get there. Ward did well, did very well. The call out the back, though, was exciting. This is young Jordan McMahon, and he's an excitement machine, and he's kicked the goal. Jordan McMahon gets his first goal in senior football.
Well, that was a fine goal from such a young player. The poise, the composure he showed here. It's good to see a young bloke when they take possession of the ball. This is Scott West, where you know him. He was prepared to put in the hard yards. The first 10, he had the option out to his right. You see on screen there, can't quite pick up who that player is, but he backed himself in and he finished in very fine fashion. Just squeezed it through. But good signs for the Bulldog faithful with a player like that coming through.
4 goals to 3 in this quarter in favour of the Western Bulldogs. And young Jordan McMahon, the 18-year-old from Glenelg, gets his first goal in AFL footy. West out of the centre, head down, caught by Schwarz. Croft leads in the race, can't pick it up cleanly. Garlick almost threw it out, back towards West again on all fours. He's a goal, but it's stolen by Travis Johnston. The lead is on. Farmer. And again, now here's the mark. And the umpire saying, now come on, Wiz, get back and kick it.
We know the ball's yellow. We know it's a top shirt. Look, That's fantastic lead from Jeff Farmer. Just going back a minute. Jeff White's ruck work today, 12 fit out, as opposed to Darcy's 2.
It's a problem
Luke
in the centre bounce, isn't it?
It is a big. Luke Darcy's just lost his rhythm a bit in there, and White's jumping well.
Farmer for goal. Sneaks it home. Melbourne replies once again. The Wizard has his second, both coming in this quarter.
As I said, though, I thought to that stage of the game, 2 goals even at half-time, Jeff Farmer, you should be happy with that.
Yeah.
But that was great play by Travis Johnson. We talk about Jordan McMahon and what a future he's got. This player's been an enigma, hasn't he, Fish? Drafted number 1, I think nearly 5 years ago now, and has had a lot of problem with injury as Green comes on the ground. But that was a great pass out of the centre bounce congestion, and Farmer now 2 goals.
2 goals to Jeff Farmer. Leoncelli and Robertson both on the bench. Robertson just off the phone. 8-3, plays 8-2. White again, but it's Liberatore this time, gives it away quickly. It's a hurried kick by Mark Alvey, straight up and down, and almost hits the roof here at Colonial. It's well marked by Woden. They break on centre wing, and one of them is Travis Johnson. You're going to have to kick it, Travis, and he does. Just over the head of Croft. In fact, it eludes just about everyone. Picked up by Ellis. He dashes clear on the half-back line. Nowhere to go, so he goes wide, giving players a chance to run on that outer side. One of them is Dimatina. Spent time on the bench most of the first half, but he finds Johnson despite the pressure. Brad Johnson on right half forward, takes on his man, then forced to chip with a left foot. Travis Johnston, he was in front of the pack, but he couldn't take the mark. It was almost thrown to Walsh. Back to Travis Johnson again. He's caught. Gee, this is a good game of footy, isn't it? For something with so little on it, Neitz will be a flyer from behind, and he takes the mark. Neitz plays on. He's got Uze, and Uze marks 42 metres out, directly in front.
Now, that's a problem that playing Tony Liberatore as a negating player, if your man goes forward, it means that they have to find a new opponent for him in the middle of the ground. Liberatore didn't go with Uze on that occasion, so someone else has to man up on him. It causes a problem with matchups.
Absolutely does. Clearances, hit-outs in the centre bounce in this quarter, 6-2 Melbourne's way, 7-2 Melbourne's way for the clearances.
Uze for his second goal, kicking from 45 in the end. Beautiful kick. Oh, beautiful goal. Second goal to Adem Uze.
Well, it's just what the Demon fans want to see. Farmer got the last one. Uze got this one. He's dangerous when he pushes forward. It's good to see Funk getting a bit of the ball. It's a good mark by Neitz too. He's playing a good captain's game today, I think. Sure, he's stood up well. He's contesting. He's been there for his teammates in the scraps too, and that's a good finish by Uze. So this game is there's nothing to suggest it's going to go either way at the moment. It's a very enjoyable contest.
Almost a line ball. Each side has had 11 effective scoring shots at goal. It's 9-2, playing 8-3. White again with that reach, tries to flick it back, but it's the Dogs now. Smith, who's away, takes it from McMahon, goes to half forward. Hunter was a flyer, couldn't take the mark. Grant, very, very clever. Johnson will kick a goal.
Well, Chris Grant is an out-and-out superstar. To contest the way he did then and flick the ball on, he is an out-and-out superstar. And Brad Johnson got the rewards from Chris Grant's hard work. Sometimes you want to put the other bloke's name in the score sheet, really.
Look at Ross Funky as the mattress here. They all just landed on him.
Oh, yeah, that would have hurt. And also Jordan McMahon, quick hands out of the centre bounce there. And that's what Brad Johnson does so well. Nathan Brown, a bit stiff there, he's second in line, and Brad Johnson pushed him out of the way. Said, oh, you're having a bad day. We might as well keep it going. I'll have this one.
Johnson gets his second. The Dogs again lead by a point. Just over 3 minutes remaining. What a scoreline. Darcy went early. White couldn't take it. West tries to rip it out, and he does so. Gives it to young McMahon, who caught one high for his trouble, but he managed to get it out cleanly, and that was all that mattered. The Dogs will go down towards Darcy once again. The kick coming from Albie. Darcy looks in towards full forward. He wants Grant. Grant is at the back, and with strength and skill, he takes them up.
Just have a look now, Fish, where Jeff White was. Darcy's run out to the wing, then received the ball. Jeff White was trying to get back. And as soon as you see the replay of this mark, you see Jeff White go past the contest. He couldn't get there in time.
Well, he's done the right thing, Jeff White. He's made the right decision.
Yeah.
He couldn't get to Darcy, so you've just got to get back and try and help out. It's a good pick-up short. He was just a little bit late on the scene. Chris Grant coming up for his 10th possession for the match. He's standing tall on the forward line today for the Bulldogs.
And kicking for his second goal. This to stretch the lead to 7 points. Grant from 20 metres won't miss and does not.
Well, the skipper, he was credited with an assist in the very last goal. This time it's his turn, and that's just the way a great game pans out sometimes. Fortune favours those who are prepared to make the sacrifices. And there is Grant, and just out of shot, White can pick up his shadow. But that's a big ask for Nicholson against Grant, who's playing a ripper game today.
Chris Grant coming off for the blood rule, and Luke Penny coming on as his replacement.
And another blood rule too. Walsh is coming off from Melbourne.
Yep.
Been a great game, hasn't it? Well, there's nothing on the game for these sides other than pride, as you said, Fish. But gee, they've had a go at it. A couple of reports already, some great individual goals, and a dominance in the centre bounce from Jeff White.
You know, sure, I kind of think that there's also a bit of frustration will emanate from this game, no matter who wins or loses, because there's been some great performances by players who haven't had great years.
Interesting to look at the tackles. I think that tells the story of the game, 20-19.
Yep.
White to contest again up against Darcy. 7 points the margin. White wins it. Alvey charges at it. Oh, they just missed him. And he charges clear and he pokes it out towards Penny, who's now with Nicholson. Nicholson gets the kind of bounce, but he needs support. Penny was right on his hammer. Sir Johnson was there. Here's McMahon. Almost threw it out the back door, but he got it to Murphy. Murphy's quick and he's skillful and he centres the ball towards Darcy. Smashed away by White. Well, Woden waiting down in front will go again. Tried to slap it even further forward. Picked up by Ward. He goes wider, away from Penny. Now they've got a little bit of respite. Melbourne on that outer side. It's taken by Phoebe.
What about the hands out of the contest, even by young McMahon? Sure, yeah. Geez, the boys are getting disposing of it under extreme pressure, which is very impressive.
Daniel Ward's pickup wasn't bad either in congestion.
A ripper. He goes short this time and finds McDonald. There's a minute and a half remaining, and there's just 7 points in it. But Melbourne will be keen not to let the Dogs get another one. The defence has had to work so hard. Ward again, up towards half forward.
Great courage, Sandy.
Well, he had to stand in front of the pack, didn't he, Todd Curley? And he did that. Gives it off to Dimatina, and he's hurting a little, Todd Curley, but well done. Johnson will come flying over the top, but a little too late. The mark taken by McDonald. He goes laterally. Got a couple of options there. Johnston and White, he picks the latter. He'll come wide again towards Ward. Ward is between half-back and centre wing, but he's going to have to be quick. He takes on Hudson and gives it to Woden. Woden can go inboard to White. Hudson's doing some running. He's trying to chase 3 or 4 at the moment as we tick down with under a minute remaining. But it could be the vital minute as Broadbridge spears it into half forward. The mark not taken by Uze. He manages to give it away. Flicked in by Green and flicked wide as it bounces over the line for one behind.
Well, the Demons nearly constructed a goal out of nothing there across half-back. Bulldogs are putting a lot of pressure on. Options downfield weren't there, but they found a free man in the corridor, which is wholly unusual in this game.
Here's Murphy. Now the Dogs have a chance to score. Hunter, he traps it well and he's away from Broadbridge. He has a bounce. He's on centre wing. He got a decent old shove in the back, but he got his kick inside 50. Penny was there, but he couldn't get a clear run at it. Johnson provides a good tackle. Thrown towards Travis Johnston. He's gang tackled. Nathan Brown and Chris Grant locking him up. And that will just about be all she wrote for a wild and woolly first half here at Colonial.
Well, what a first half of football, Shorey. It's been it's been an intriguing game of football. Neither side's gained ascendancy in really any specific area on the field. We can't say that one midfield's on top of the other. We can say Jeff White's performance in the first half was exceptional. So too was Chris Grant's. He's got 2 goals. He's had 10 possessions. A number of players getting a lot of the football. Woden, McDonald, and of course Uze's got his customary 12. Darcy's got a bit of it with 10, but just has been shared around a bit, and the attack on the ball. There's Jeff White on screen. he needs a big second half against this great champion Darcy, who will probably make the All-Australian side. But it's going to be hopefully the second half is as good as the first.
So half-time here at Colonial, the margin was 2 points at quarter time. It's 6 points at half-time. The Dogs leading 10-3 to 9-3. So here we go, second half. 10-3 plays 9-3. The Bulldogs leading by one straight kick, and it's Jeff White who's been so good in the middle, trying to win it out for the Demons once again. It's socket off the ground and down towards the 50. The race is on, and what a race it is. Luke Penny came off the bench, but he's in trouble there. Gets it away quickly, but it's taken by Peter Walsh. He gives it off to Woe Woden, who looks towards centre wing. Schwarz, an effective spoiler. Johnson, a clever tap back to the Ox. That was well done by young Travis Johnston. He's got White looming at half forward. Here he comes, charging at the ball, and he takes the mark. He's 60 out. Neitz leads. He's got a couple of options, and he picks the one of Robertson.
Well, that's a good play by Jeff White. He was involved just in the defensive half there. He's pushed aggressively forward. Schwarz has spotted him up very well indeed. He's taken the mark. Not only that, he's executed the skill to Robertson and found him. Very well done.
With that customary long run up, he kicks from 52 metres. It's a lovely looking kick to start the second half, and Robertson has another one. He's got his third.
Well, you were right there, Fish. David Schwartz's vision across the ground, like he's kicked the ball probably 45 to 50 metres, went round Garlic, and that was a great kick. An easy chest mark for White, who's pushed forward. I don't know where Darcy was. I think he must have pushed back into defence. And just on this occasion, White, great kick out in front of his man. Robinson's been a handful for Harrison.
Just the start. Melbourne needs in the second half to tie it up once again. Out of the middle. They've got their injury problems, as Doug has said, with Nicholson on crutches, his right ankle heavily strapped. He will take no further part in this game. His season is over. There's Johnson and West. The D's trying to rewrite the record books here. Bounce on centre wing. Darcy. Well, he plucked it out of the air and then did a little pirouette, only as far as Woe Woden. Gian Syracuse is right on his hammer though, and loses it through Johnston and Curley. Grant there working hard at the bottom of the pack. Johnston goes again, and he comes away with it. Pokes it out in front of White. This could be a clash because Darcy's coming from this end. White arcs around, gives it back towards Johnston, and he clears away from Darcy. And he steadies, and he kicks it up towards centre wing, and Robertson takes a good mark. They made a good start. Wide to Woe Woden. Short in towards the half-forward line. A little too short on that occasion. Well smashed away by Luke Penny. We have got a throw-in.
Well, the kick wasn't good enough on Shane Woden's behalf then. He knows it.
His target was Cameron Bruce, who'd come a long way down from the throw-in. Johnston tries to get away from the Liberatore tackle. He can't, and there will be another bounce.
Well, it's just going to be really a matter, Shorey, I reckon, of just how long one or both sides can sustain the pace of the game, because it may break open at some stage. But if this goes down to the wire, big effort on both teams' behalf.
Croft, Phoebe, couldn't take it. Gian Syracuse wanted a free kick. Liberatore just gets on with the game towards Penny. With him there is Cameron Bruce. Some holding on, said the umpire.
Against Penny.
Cameron Bruce to take it.
The other thing, Fish, is also Troy Simmons has got a very big job on Chris Grant now. They get enough supply.
Oh, Murphy, sorry, Shorey.
You're right.
Steals it and goes to the half-forward line. Brown leaves it for Smith. He couldn't take it cleanly. Melbourne may get out of it yet with Daniel Ward. Gives the hand pass away and they flick it back towards half-back, where Schwarz takes the mark. A little fortunate there towards Broadbridge, and he's on centre wing. The lanky youngster lopes away, kicks towards Neitz. He's inside 50. He's got to beat a couple. It's smashed out in front. Johnson's playing an excellent game. Gives the hand pass away. Here's a chance for Melbourne's Ross Funky. He's away to the right.
I think you made a good point there, Shorey, about Simmons on Grant. You'd sort of isolate that forward line a fair bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be taking everybody outside the 50. I know Kingsley Hunter's kicked 4, but just for about 15-minute period, I think it would be a big test for Troy Simmons, Doug.
Melbourne regains the lead. Curley to the outer side. Woden waits at the back and takes them up. Read it beautifully. Spearing a short pass in once again to Uze. Adem Uze has kicked a couple. He got one in the first term, one in the second.
He's on the right side for a left footer. We've seen him earlier in this game steady from this side of the ground, this pocket if you like, and steer one through on the run.
And they've looked the better side so far in the second half, Paul.
Yeah, certainly early in this third quarter, they've just gained a little bit of ascendancy.
Uze right on the 50, bending it back. What a lovely kick by Adem Uze.
Well, he's happy to let Luke Darcy know about it too. There's a fair bit of feeling in this game, Shorey, and that's Uze's 13th possession. He's taken 4 marks and it's his 3rd goal. Well, he's sustained his consistency throughout the year very well indeed, and he's finishing his season off well today. So the Demons have a couple of early goals in this third quarter, and they are throwing the challenge right down to the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs led by 6 points at half-time. Now it is Melbourne leading by 7 points. Darcy goes early. White almost has a fresh air shot. Leoncelli can't get it clear. Phoebe tries and tries. Eventually they do. Well done. It's all Melbourne in this quarter at the moment. White goes up to the half-forward line. Robertson at the back. Couldn't take it. Johnston. Well smothered by Murphy. 2 fine young players. Johnston goes to Neitz. Neitz flicks it back. Farm was going past. Didn't quite get him in time. The Wiz tried to belt it out of the air. Picked up by West. They're really under pressure at the moment, this Bulldog defence. Taken towards the line is Ellis. Neitz attacks fiercely, but he gets his kick towards the half-back line. Darcy needs someone going past, and it's Johnson. Johnson's got Liberatore on centre wing. If it sits, he's got to get away from Funky. He's got to go. And little Liver, the 35-year-old legs pumping. He goes to half-forward. He goes to Grant. Couldn't take the mark. Hunter will kick the goal. Kingsley's done it again. He's got number 5.
Well, 1 minute they're under a lot of pressure in the back 50, Shorey. The transition was quick, it was effective. Liberatore showing a bit of dash there for the old-timer. And it squares up to the top of the goal square where Hunter spilled onto a loose ball. But that was, well, that's making them pay on a quick transition, isn't it?
And Chris Grant looked very dangerous in that marking contest. The other thing is, Adem Uze's been playing as a half-forward flanker. Now he's pushing the centre, but it has released Liberatore forward too.
Well, Kingsley Hunter a 5.
5 goals to Kingsley Hunter. Those little legs were like pistons of Liberatore's too as he ripped down the half-forward line. West gets it out again to Syracuse. Now it's the Dogs' turn after Melbourne dominated early in this quarter. Syracuse chipping short. Hunter's the man at the moment, but he couldn't take the mark. Penny there as well. Flick wide. They've still got possession through Garlic. He's done a 360. He held it for an eternity. Johnson, Smith to the line. Johnson is there. He has a good look. A question is asked, and he's had a marvellous year once again, has Johnson. It'll be thrown in the left forward pocket.
Another John Stone has had a great...
Hasn't he?
Fantastic. He came on late in the first quarter. 11 and 3. He's had 14 possessions, Sandy.
Simmons, dangerously, he flicked it down in front, but it's okay. He's got plenty of support there. And it's Jeff White, who ambles out of the back pocket, kicks towards Simmons in the middle. He's got players going past. This looks positive once again. The build-up is good, and the mark is taken by Robertson. He's 70 metres out. Russell Robertson bends it round. If it's goal for goal, I need another one here. Neitz is the man.
Free kick.
And Ellis has given away the free kick.
No doubt. Too much body strength for David Neitz on that occasion. One-on-one, you seem to have it over him. As you can see, Ellis looking at the umpire saying, do you know what you've done here? If looks could kill. There's a replay there, no doubt across the shoulder.
The first instinct of Ellis really
has been
to grapple in this game. And it was very hard to tell for an umpire, the instigator on the odd occasion, but that was pretty clear cut.
Neitz to give Melbourne a 7-point lead. Kicking from 40 metres, he's put it through. Neitz has got his second.
He's been okay, Neitz. He hasn't won a lot of the ball, but he's done a lot of the bullocking stuff for the Demons today. A good captain's game, and that was a big, almost a big kiss on the cheek for Father's Day, that one. But he's done a good job for the Demons. He's, as I said, been a good captain, but a good, clean effort into the forward half. A nice skill that found. There's Craig. I got distracted there.
What do you think he's trying to say? Do you know what you're doing here, Robert? What's going on? What's that a free kick for?
69 plays 76. We're back to a 7-point ball game. White again. He has been so impressive in the middle, but it's Darcy who may take it out. He gives it off towards Croft. If they just take it in turns for goals. West, beautifully run down and tackled by Leoncelli. Another one by Bubba Smith, and it's locked up just inside 50.
Further bad news here, Sandy, I think, for Melbourne. Looks like veteran Stephen Phoebes may have torn a hamstring. Just left the ground just then.
Thank you, Doug. So that's Nicholson and Phoebe, both with a question mark over them, and Nicholson won't come back on. We'll have to wait and see with Phoebe. Well done by Darcy. Gives off to Gian Syracuse. You're going to have to be quick. He is. He gives it away quickly to McMahon, who shoots the goal. And he's kicked another one. Jordan McMahon has two.
Well, young Jordan McMahon, Tony Shaw can't speak highly enough of this kid, and I'm starting to see why. He's poised in the traffic there. He was caught. And Gian Syracuse was just pulled up, and he followed up very well, McMahon. This kid has got a bit of a package, hasn't he, Tony?
He's got plenty. I said he might be a superstar. I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he has got all the talent. The only thing he needs to do, as you can see by those arms, is the build-up. He's still got to run around the shower to get wet, but that'll improve over time.
Nice to see a youngster coming through. He's only 18 years of age, Jordan McMahon, so he's got a full career ahead of him. Out of the middle, it's Travis Johnston towards the Wizard. He's due to produce something here. Oh, he's turned a couple inside out, and he's given Neitz a one-out duel with Ellis. And this time, Ellis is an effective spoiler, but he's poked it straight down to McDonald. McDonald gives it to Uze, and he misses. Oh, he could almost get dragged for that. We've had so many goals.
Look at that.
We've had 24, and that's one of the easier shots.
It's been fantastic. I think the stats of inside 50s and the scoring from inside 50s would be pretty good today. My assumption would be in watching the game, but that was one you'd normally expect Uze to finish off.
Yeah. Uze's the type of player Tony Liberatore doesn't like playing on. If it's a hard in and under player, it suits Tony Liberatore. A class player like Uze who likes to run the lines and finish off very well is hard to play on.
Inside 50s 29 to the Bulldogs, 33 to Melbourne at the moment.
Which that's nearly a 40% conversion rate too, if my rough ads are correct, so it's not bad at all.
Eagleton towards a half forward. The race is on. Here's young Jordan McMahon going with Peter Walsh.
Have a look at the size of his body, Sandy. He's
a stick insect, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But it's what's between his ears that impresses me.
You could show him a few exercises for those arms, couldn't you, Tony? You still do a few.
And the love handles, yes.
Darcy, righto, West. Scotty West hand pass. Oh, he put liver under the pump, and they may turn it over here. That was dangerous. Will they pay a price? Murphy, that's a clever pickup. Gives away once again. They're going to get away with it because Croft is on the end of it. He can give it to Gian Syracuse. He's on centre wing. McDonald holds him up. He goes towards his skipper up on the half-forward line, but intercepting and taking an excellent mark is Johnson. Grant was there. He's still there. Johnson wants him. Grant. It's going to be a free kick. It will be a free kick to Chris Grant going against Troy Simmons.
Oh, no. He's gone the other way. Oh, no.
Well, he's seen something we didn't see.
Happy Father's Day. Can you believe it?
Oh, he's paid the...
Well, he's grabbed him, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did grab him, so maybe we're not quite in the position we thought we were in. West at the bottom of the pack. Now Melbourne asked the question, and the umpire will come in and have a bounce.
I think we'll find...
Michael Vozzo, Dougie.
Sorry, Sam, I think we'll find that wasn't a bad decision at the end of the day.
No, I reckon you're spot on.
We make the assumption, don't we, when the bloke's running with the flight of the ball, that if he makes contact, it's a free kick.
There it is again, Dougie, and you're right.
Chris Grant's turned him.
Very good decision.
Yep. Well done, Michael. Here goes Jordan McMahon. He's enjoying this footy, isn't he? Into the left forward pocket, Woden. Across the goal he goes. Well, he's going to get away with it, but a few Melbourne people had their hearts in their mouths. Cameron Bruce is tucked in the back pocket.
It's just good to see some risk-taking, free-flowing footy in a lot of ways. It's really refreshing, and it's edge of your seat stuff, but it's entertaining.
James McDonald going short to Funky. Ross Funky towards centre wing. Uze's his man. Uze sneaks away from Todd Curley. His kick is a poor one to Schwarz. He's got to take it on the half volley again. The hand pass, Uze, he's clear. Shrugs one tackle, spears the pass to Neitz. That's grand football.
Plays on.
And this will be a goal to Cameron Bruce.
Well, I had to enjoy the mop-up, if you want to call it that, of David Schwarz out here on the flank. He's taking control of the ball there, and he's just drawn it long enough and put it to the advantage of Uze. He's used his pace and the skills. Look at that. That is beautiful football. And David Neitz could well have had a shot from there. But
I was just going to say, right from the start of that play, it was low percentage stuff.
yeah.
You know, the ball didn't get to the Schwarz on the full. Quick handball, a lot of float on it, so you can put your man in trouble, and then the kick over the top. Low percentage football, but it was exciting football.
David Schwarz is having a game. 10 kicks, 5 hand passes. Jeff White, 15 kicks, 4 hand passes, 7 marks and 208 hit-outs.
Hey, Fish, last week we saw Travis Johnson come on the ground. What's his stats so far in this game?
Well, Travis has got 15 possessions, 12 kicks, 3 marks, 5 marks, 3 handballs, sorry. A couple of tackles. The kid's, he's flying the flag late in the season.
The action on centre wing at the moment, the ball dribbling towards the line, and it will be Travis Johnson who does well to keep it in play, gives it to McDonald, another one away to Leoncelli. Melbourne leading at the moment, they go towards Uze. He wants to go, he's got the lead on it at half forward, and it's an excellent kick, and Neitz takes the mark. This is more like the Melbourne we saw at the end of last year.
Well, it certainly is, and Neitz is playing the right sort of football on Craig Ellis at the moment. If you take Ellis to the ball, dart back on him, or he just gets a little bit lost in those situations, and he's just found the necessary yard to be on the end of a couple of good skills.
And sure, they look a better side with Neitz and Schwarz down in that forward line.
Yes, Sandy. As I said, I thought he was a good converter, Sandy. That's how many straight today?
3.
It is 3.
He's got to make his move here, Shorey, with Curley on Uze. Just too quick for him.
Well, the problem is, Dougie, I thought he's been too good for Liberatore in the middle of the ground. They've changed McDonald. Anthony McDonald changed with him off the half-forward flank. He's too good for Curley, and he's also too good for Libba when they go in the centre.
He set a couple of very good goals up there, Uze. Great mark.
Three goals to David Neitz, and the margin is now 14 points. It's the biggest margin we've had in the game so far. Melbourne through McDonald, get it out again down towards half forward. They don't want to let him get another one. A crunch of bodies. It ricochets back towards Funky. Funky belts the hand pass up to half forward, and Leoncelli. Travis Johnson, but sits, he'll kick a goal. He's 40 out, he gives it to the Wiz. Palmer at last finds the goals. And here comes the Wizard. Still chatting. I love him. Oh, golly, what a way to finish the home and away.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's really great to watch, and the Wiz was on the end of a fairly good chain of football there, and he's just spent a few moments. Croft has paid for that bump there, still paying for it, but Wiz spent about 10 seconds at the fence just conversing with the crowd after that goal, and why wouldn't you? That's a wonderful piece of football, and he's gone to the boundary and said, wasn't bad, was it?
The Bulldog crowd.
Yes.
Well, a couple of Bulldogs popping some heavy ones. Liberatore on the sidelines. What sort of a game is Travis Johnson playing? Gee, out of the middle he goes once again towards Uze. Uze gets a call out the back. Guess who? Johnston, he almost pinpointed Leoncelli, just missed him. McDonald tied out towards Dimatina. They're under the pump now as Scotty West rides the McDonald bump. Travis Johnson in the thick of things once again. Loose it to Curley, who in turn loose it to Schwarz. They're going in hard but fair. Eagleton to half forward. Suddenly Melbourne now called upon to defend. White receives it from Brown. Goes wide. This is Peter Walsh. Walsh from half back up to half forward. Belts it in towards Robertson. He was the one who gave that mighty bump 80 seconds ago. And look at Uze. They're opening up a winning break here.
Well, Sandy, it's whether you're smart or you're a cheat, because Todd Curley's his opponent, and Todd Curley could have ran through the halfway mark of the ground and kicked it into the Western Bulldogs 50. He fumbled, and Uze said, well, I'll sit back here and see what happens. But great vision by Russell Robertson.
Travis Johnston this quarter's had 9 possessions. Jeff White has had 8. And they are blitzing them.
I would say smart.
Uze's had 6.
He's been fantastic. He was smart then. He was smart.
Here he goes for goal number 4. Goal number 4.
Well, you called it well short. That was one football. I've been very impressed with Robertson, you know, today. He's been very good on the assist on a lot of occasions. Look at it. He's got back quickly. Good, and look at the vision out there on his left shoulder. He's either had an idea that Uze is out there, or he's just caught him in the corner of his eye. But whatever it was, smart football, good skill execution, and Uze has been doing the job all day. 4th goal.
I put Adem in top 3 kicks in the competition, Ben Graham and Darren Jarman alongside with Adem.
Now these two sides, the two bottom sides of tackles,
look at this.
Their numbers today.
Here they go again.
Oh.
Magnificent kick down to the half-forward line from James McDonald. And on the end of it is David Neitz, who's going to be kicking for his 4th. And the Dogs are stunned. And Terry's saying, for heaven's sake.
Travis Johnson here, boys, coming off the ground.
Thanks, Dougie. What a game he has played, young Travis Johnston. I think people have been waiting for him to blossom. Well, just maybe it could be something that really gets his career going next year. Neitz, in the meantime, from 45 metres, can shut the gate on the Dogs. Just sliding away to the right.
I wouldn't totally discount the Dogs just yet. There's Travis Johnson on screen. What a mighty game he's played, particularly this quarter. But I tell you what, sure as you criticised me for maybe being on the ruckman bandwagon, but Jeff White's been the architect.
No doubt.
Again out of the middle, fantastic.
And Travis Johnson, we were talking about trades. No doubt his name had been put up at the end of this year. He's had a groin problem for
a lot of
2 years now.
Yeah. So we've got 5 minutes remaining. Here's Smith on the outer side. The Dogs, suddenly their scoring options appear to have dried up. Aldi kicks towards centre wing. No mark taken by Darcy. Again, Melbourne have the numbers, and it's Walsh. Walsh chipping in towards Schwarz, who marks on half back. Wants to go on with it. Feigns the hand pass past Garlick and goes to Leoncelli. Gee, they're playing like the side of old. Where's the Wizard? There's the Wizard at the back, but he falls at the critical time. Murphy, the youngster from Warragul, will he rush it through? No, he'll amble across the face of goal. Wait for Croft and Co to make a position on half back and kick it long. Croft was his target. Neitz is there. Croft does well. They've got the numbers. Jordan McMahon bounces his way through centre wing. Down goes the foot on the accelerator. He centres it into half forward. Good looking kick. Hudson a little too slow. And Walsh is there as well. Applies the tackle. Back it comes to Hudson again. Can he break the drought? He bends it back a little too far. And it is through for one behind.
Well, Jordan McMahon again on the right foot that time. There's Neil Danner. He'd be pretty pleased with the boys. And well might he be.
I just thought then Rowan Smith's gone back into the back line. I think Rowan Smith and Brad Johnson have to give him some run in the centre of the ground, put them both in the middle. And the young player I'd like to see released is Robert Murphy. He's playing across half-back. They're taking him out of the game. He's got a lot of skill, so maybe give him a go in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, we said to half-time there wasn't much you couldn't separate the midfield too much. Well, this quarter, Melbourne have really just taken them apart. 66 possessions to 36. 21 marks to 5.
And it's been a 32-point turnaround this quarter. They lead at the moment by 26 after trailing by 6. White at the back has to spoil. Penny waiting down in front, gives it to Darcy. Little bit of fancy work. He was legged. But he'll have to go back. Woden was the one who just grabbed hold of him. Schwarz making sure that he's not going to go off.
He hasn't had a bad game, Darcy, by any stretch. He's just, White's just been superb. This is Darcy's 15th possession. He's taken 5 marks. He hasn't been disgraced, but White's played a game out of the bag.
Here's Murphy. Just stands and goes bang with a long bomb up to the forward line. Little Jeffrey White does the roving. He's tucked in the back pocket and he spears it towards Schwarz, who takes a good mark. Schwarz is away, thought about the hand pass, but then finds Woden at half-back. They start their attack again. He gives it to Peter Walsh. Walsh looks up towards the half-forward line. Neitz is the man. Ellis is there with him. At the back for the Dogs is Matthew Robbins. Robbins on half-back, kicks towards centre wing. No one at home. Walsh will be the first to it. Proppy hand pass in the end is going to be okay. 76 plays 102 if you've just joined us. And this is Cameron Bruce. He gives it to Schwarz. Schwarz chips to half forward. He's got a man wide. That is Godfrey. Couldn't take the mark. Gin Siracusa. Leg. And will be free kick. The advantage, no advantage. So he'll go back and take the kick.
And Dougie, I just look. I think Nathan Brown has been taken from the ground.
You're right, sure. He's having a bit of a spell on the bench, Nathan Brown, for the Doggies.
He hasn't had a possession.
Had a shocker, hasn't he?
Shades of Corey McKernan not so long ago. Over the top of McDonald it goes, and Croft sees it over the boundary line.
Well, he could have had one kick, but he gave that free kick away after taking the mark in that second term, of course. A bit soft one, as we all agreed.
Don't forget, for all your football action, especially finals action, you can log into i7sport.com.au as the Woden kick is partly smothered. Picked up quickly by Robbins once again. He gives it to Eagleton. Eagleton to half forward as seconds tick away for the Dogs. They need a couple of quick goals to have any chance in this game. Darcy towards Hunter. Well, he's the man in front of goal today for the Dogs. He's booted 5.
I think there might have been a change, Sandy. I think that Luke Penny now might go into the ruck on White, and Darcy looks like he's gone to centre half forward.
Yep. Hunter there. 45 out. Pretty poor kick away to the left. That has really summed up the Dogs' quarter.
Certainly has. He's had to make the most of his opportunities. As we look at Stephen Phoebe on the bench, looks a bit despondent there.
The Dogs, I'm sorry, Paul, have kicked 2 goals 2 in this term, and Melbourne have booted 7 goals 3.
Well, they've been all over this quarter like a rash, the Demons.
Their field kicking's been fantastic. David Schwarz, they've been drilling passes, a lot of confidence in each other. Normally when you say that, someone turns it over.
Sure, you're spot on about Rowan Smith. He's gone to the half-back flank. He's on Adem now.
Here's Troy Broadbridge, boy from Port Adelaide. Goes towards centre wing and finds Simmons. Woden running with him. He goes long. It's a floating punt, but it's almost to Neitz. He couldn't quite take the mark. Out the back comes Smith. Thought about Harrison, then decides to go it alone. Just gets his kick in time, and that pressure caused it to drop short. White takes the mark. He's had a big game, Jeffrey White.
8th mark.
Chipping into Leoncelli in the middle. He's away. Wide to half forward. That's got to be spot on, and it was to McDonald.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was a
use
belter
of the ball.
of a pass.
Oh, sure, they've done the right thing by you. They haven't turned one over since you said that. But there has been exquisite. That's how Phoebe did his hamstring, streaming off half-back with a beautiful pinpoint pass. Their skills have been exquisite today.
And they've been good too.
They've been good too.
7 Melbourne players have kicked goals to date. McDonald hoping to make it 8. And it'll probably be the last kick of the quarter. Well, we've seen some memorable kicks after the siren this season. One last night, of course, in the final quarter. This has got the distance, and it's a goal. It is a goal. What a way to finish a blitzing quarter by the Melbourne Football Club. Their patient members giving them a standing ovation. It's been a while since they've produced footy like that, Paul.
It has been a long while for the Demons, particularly this year. It's been pretty hard, but the Demons all over the Bulldogs. They've got some work to do in the last quarter of the Bulldogs, but so far the Demons on top.
At three-quarter time, Melbourne 17-6, 108, blitzing the Bulldogs in that quarter, 12-5, 77. 17-6, plays 12-5 as we go into the final quarter. Darcy was a big leaper. West got the first kick. Harrison goes over the top, but it's Peter Walsh who clears from the half-back line. Walsh first one way, then the other. Jeff White, the loping Jeff White, goes with the flight of the ball. And he's away, up towards centre wing. Melbourne in possession through Leoncelli, and Mad Monday could be fairly big for them tomorrow. He kicks in towards half forward. Neitz has been a focal point. Woden trapped it beautifully. Bends it back into full forward. One out duel, almost a free kick to Melbourne. They're quick to recover, however. The perfect tackle sees it spell free. Dimartina couldn't take it. Suddenly it's Ellis under the pump. He tries to get it out towards Robbins. He tucks it under his arm, and he's away at full back. Going short in the end, he finds McMahon. McMahon across to Smith. Smith towards Croft, and Croft takes the mark on centre wing. 31 points is the margin at three-quarter time. A smashing turnaround after they trailed by 6 at the long break. Croft's pass goes in towards Grant.
50 metres out. Yeah, he's got 50. No. Has he? I think he has.
He was telling everybody to clear out of the way. I'd like to have a look at that again, Fish.
He hasn't done too badly, Simmons.
Well, the ball hasn't been up that end.
No, that's right. The Bulldogs have been doing a lot of defending.
They normally give a 50-metre penalty for wasting time, and whether he took him to the ground to stop him playing on. But
I just don't reckon that was there, actually.
Bit harsh.
Sure. My opinion.
I know Troy Simmons had a good third quarter because the ball was never in the Western Bulldogs forward line, so... I think he's a good ruckman of the future, Troy Simmons. Someone to back up Jeff White.
Grant's kicking for his third. Kicked one in the first, one in the second. Point blank range, he'll have no problems. Grant gets his third.
Well, the Bulldogs certainly needed that start to the last quarter. Totally well dissected and torn apart in that third quarter by the Demons, so they needed to send a message early in this quarter. The game's far from over. They've done that with the first goal of the quarter through Grant. Had to defend grimly though to set up that goal. Simmons could consider himself a little unlucky, but well, the Bulldogs have got themselves a goal closer, and this man is playing a good game indeed.
3 goals to Chris Grant. 17-6 plays 13-5. Back to a 25-point ball game. Still enough for the Dogs to catch them if they're good enough. An infringement in the square, and it's going the way of the Bulldogs. Darcy to take it in the middle. Straight down the middle he goes. And Grant, well, he almost took the chest mark, couldn't quite hold it. Pressure now on the Melbourne defence. All of a sudden, things changing. White takes the mark, but it didn't travel the required distance. Gives it off to Leoncelli. He's got Travis Johnston wide. Johnston cruises. Has a bounce. Schwarz does the shepherding. Johnston just spears it in towards Cameron Bruce. Bruce goes wide. Players loose inside 50. Oh, here's an opportunity for Brown. Goes across the face of goal. Neitz was his target. Darcy's there. Here's a goal. No, well smothered. Robertson. Oh! There's the Wizard at work again. And now he's down with his teammates and his Demon supporters.
Well, you thought Russell Robertson had an easy goal for the taking. Luke Darcy smothered the ball. But this is why this man is their key player for Melbourne. That's his 4th goal. And that's why they would not want him to go home to Western Australia. Look at that. The threaded through the eye of a needle, the Wizard.
That is opportunistic,
yes.
You have to say, Shory. And well, that's his trademark. That's his signature goal. That one. He just makes the most of very minor opportunities.
I'm just looking down at the bench, and Simon Godfrey's been down on the bench. He's done his job that well that Nathan Brown's been taken off, and I thought, well, they're just going to keep him there until Nathan Brown comes on again, but they have given him a run, and good luck to him because he's done his job for the team.
And Brown has just come on.
Well, there you go.
The switch being made.
There you go.
So Woden goes back on to Smith, and we go back into the middle. What a goal from the Wizard. Darcy unable to take it. Woden gives it to McDonald. They go wide again to Walsh. It's a high ball. Croft and Schwarz both underneath it. Schwarz in the end the effective spoiler, but Croft first to recover. Gives it off quickly towards Albie. He looks towards Hudson, who's been pretty quiet with limited opportunities. Woden couldn't take it. Nathan Brown, here he is at last. And the ironical cheers from the Dog supporters. Melbourne defence continues to stand firm, however. Bruce gets the hand pass away. Quick little kick by Simmons, goes to the half-back line. McDonald takes the mark.
The interesting thing here, Nathan Brown is trying to go to Shane Woden, but Simon Godfrey, so we've got a 2-on-1 situation at the moment. And Brown will just follow Shane Woden, and Godfrey will just go with him. So that gives the Bulldogs one free player.
Rowan Smith, that'll be, Fish.
Ward, it's got to have the carry on at this ball. Melbourne have got the numbers. Walsh in trouble. He ducked his head, but somehow he ducked through and he gets away. He gives it away to Funky. Funky goes to Schwarz and he marks in front of Croft. Eagleton about to come on again for the Dogs. Cameron Bruce marking the Schwarz kick just on the 50. The lead is on once again. At the back was the Wizard. He could have been held. Play on, Robertson does. He gives it to the Wizard. 46 out. He can smell a goal. He can smell a magical goal. How good's that?
He's just given us some pretty special moments today, hasn't he, Jeff Farmer? He's created something out of nothing. He's actually deliberately steadied himself there and threaded it through from almost the boundary line. This guy is a very special footballer.
Well, he was in the first contact. Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it, against his opponent. And then steady, he knew he was going to have a shot on goal. And from that angle, he's had 10 possessions for 5 goals. Fairly effective day, I would say.
Well, we know he's one of the best small forwards in the competition.
5 goals to the Wizard. And as Tony Shaw said, 10 possessions. Percentage football from Farmer. Melbourne go on their merry way. White down towards Leoncelli, but it's taken by West, who gives it to Darcy. And Darcy sprints out of the middle, looks up towards the half-forward line. 1-2 grabs. Well, he's done well, Broadwood. Away he sprints. He has a bounce. He's almost down to centre wing. He passes to half-forward. It's not a good kick, but Woden will swoop on it. He's got McDonald wide. McDonald sits and waits. Melbourne deep into attack again. Puts out the pass just inside 50. And Schwarz says, let's go back. Let's take it easy and we'll have another shot at goal.
Well, then, Fish, what did you think of Troy Broadbridge? I think he is a player of the future too. Maybe at centre-half back, not used to full-back. He's had a hard job on Kingsley Hunter because he had to try and stop his influence on the game.
Well, that was a wonderful attack on the football there.
Oh. Here's Schwarz kicking from 52 metres. It straightens up. It's a prodigious punt. It's made the distance for a big, big goal. Raining goals here at Colonial, and it's all at one end. That's the Melbourne end.
Well, you know, early in the third quarter, we thought that it just may snap. Something may give, something may break, and it's been what's a wonderful attack on the football from young Broadbridge, and a pretty good delivery too for the football. Just intercepted there with one hand by Smith, but it did break, and it was the Bulldogs' back that was broken, and the Demons are playing some fantastic football. Good goal by the great man David Schwarz.
Shane Woden coming back next year. He's had 20 possessions, had a fairly solid game tonight.
The margin is out to 43 points, can you believe?
No,
McDonald.
can't believe it.
Well, it's true. Leoncelli to half forward. West may come over the top to affect the spoil. He smashes it down towards the line. Nathan Brown of Melbourne just keeps it in play, but it goes back to West again, who gives it to Harrison, who gives Scotty West another possession. To centre wing, Darcy. 14.5 minutes remaining for the Dog season. That'll be straight to the kennel because it's a disappointing finish. Dimartina spearing it towards Johnson. It bounced off that rubber chest. Now he's got to recover. He gives it back to Dimmer, who's still 70 out. Chipping in short, and that's okay to Harrison.
Got to go over the top.
He does. Garlick will take the mark and have a shot 30 out.
Just one thing, when you went back to Scotty West, Sandy, and you said he gets another possession, I think because of the way they play the game with the same personnel in midfield, they like to double up on the 1-2s, and sometimes they get it in the wrong position. they can play possession footy, and I'm saying that some of the senior players don't deserve the possessions, and it becomes a problem for them. They should be pushing up the ground further to be more offensive.
Garlic. Oh, that's not a pretty punt.
Certainly wasn't. That was very untidy by Simon.
He's still happy though.
One behind. Simon Garlic, 17 goals, 7 this season. And Travis Johnston to bring it back into play for Melbourne. 14 kicks, 6 hand passes, 5 marks and a couple of tackles. The young man has certainly done his job. Just 21 years of age.
Well, he seemed last couple of weeks intent on just answering some of the doubters, and he's done it in pretty emphatic fashion, and good on him. But he's on his way off the ground as we speak.
So the margin here at the moment is 42 points. Travis off. Coming back on is Anthony McDonald, who kicked a goal in the 3rd quarter. The Dogs go down towards the 50 once again. The bounce is a cruel one for Ward, but it's a good one for Garlic. Ward on the end will take it. There's been a whistle. There was holding on.
Well, it was there, and young Julian Syracusa has, left the umpire no doubt that it was he'd been scragged. Pretty clever play by the young bloke. You throw him around like a rag doll. There's not much of him, so all you have to do is throw the arms out. But you see it on replay here. Wasn't a lot.
Nah,
wasn't
played up to it.
Yep.
But it just shows he's got a good football brain, Fish. If he grabbed the ball and got tackled, you'd be saying, gee, that was pretty ordinary play, but well thought out.
Gian Syracusa from 46 metres. I reckon he's missed 2.
What does this mean for the future of the Bulldogs, Fish? I don't know. A loss like this in a side that hasn't beaten them in the last 6 rounds just seems to have all fallen apart in the second half of the season. And a lot of innuendo, a lot of rumour, especially with Terry Wallace's position at the club.
I'll tell you what it means, Tony. They have to, I suppose, go back and put themselves in a situation where they need to build the team.
Yep.
They may not win them a premiership next year, but it's going to give them every chance of being competitive for one in the next within the next 3 to 4 years.
They've won only 3 games on the trot. Here's we see Gian Syracusa again, and that was in rounds 7, 8 and 9. Since then, they've been arguably the most inconsistent team in the competition as Jordan McMahon goes for goal and kicks it. He's got 3 goals.
And we have just witnessed, it's a timely question you asked, Shory, because we've witnessed the future of the Bulldogs footy club there. Gene Syracusa takes possession, looks to centre, and he finds his partner in crime, Jordan McMahon, who has a presence of mind to play on. There's the future. We haven't seen many of their senior players, apart from maybe Chris Grant, arguably. Scotty West, to a point, stand up and take this game. But it's been the young kids that have been standing out more so. And I think they're sending a clear message to the coach's box about where the future of the club lies.
3 goals to Jordan McMahon, 5 to Kingsley Hunter and 3 to Chris Grant. They're the principal scorers for the Dogs as Dimatina rips it out of the middle to Croft. Too little too late coming now for the Bullies as they go up towards the half-forward line. And well done by Brown, but equally well tackled. And he's gone.
Yeah, that was a good decision because he had prior opportunity and try and get around Brad Johnson.
Rip tackle.
Fantastic.
Johnson passes. Hunter's his man. Couldn't take it. Play on is the call. Melbourne defence will cruise away from Darcy, and they do. Schwarz calls for it, but instead they go long. It's McDonald. Uze, Woden, he gets a bad bounce. Dimatina slaps it towards Croft, but Luck's fortunate, he may have bounced it again towards Dimatina. He shrugs away Woden tackle. Dimatina's away. Long penetrating kick. Hunter stands his ground and takes the mark.
Well done, Paul Dimatina. And it's a game of inches sometimes, isn't it? Croft went to ground there, back on centre wing, and Uze almost got his hand to it. He would have been almost 3 bounces to inside 50, but Dimatina was the fortuitous player that ended up with the ball in his hands, and he's just ran aggressively and kicked it long to the hot spot. Kingsley Hunter pretty happy with that kick too. Good mark.
For number 6, 25 out. No problems. Good effort by Hunter. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and that one.
It has been a great effort. He's a player, as I said, has played most of this year in defence. And he's put his hand up today. There is no doubt about that. Another player.
Yeah, add him to my list. I overlooked him before, I shouldn't have.
And good work by Chris Grant off the ball to stop the Melbourne player getting into that contest. And you're right. One thing about Scotty West too, I think that he cannot play in the midfield all day, Fish. I think that's past anybody in the competition.
126 plays 97, so we're back to a 29-point margin after at one stage it ballooned out to 42. West on all fours, throws it out the back door, it comes to Liberatore, gives it to Nathan Brown. Brown has had a very subdued day, back to Liberatore, in towards West, he rides one tackle, gives it across to Croft. Suddenly they're going to finish with a flurry. Croft wants West, look out! West to Eagleton, Eagleton gets caught! West going the wrong way, but he's got Bubba Smith if it sits, he's in business. Why wasn't he ping for holding the ball? That's the question Melbourne fans are still asking. Harrison, 55 out short to Darcy. Well,
they nearly brought themselves undone, Sandy, there with some out possession and plenty of handball. You wonder sometimes why he just can't get boot to ball and get it in there, Shorey. But
there's a fair bit of pressure around the ball then, wasn't there?
Oh, it was great stuff.
They kept it alive.
Even though there's a bit of daylight in the scoreboard at the moment, 5 odd goals.
Hey, there's 29 points and there's 10 minutes to go.
Yes,
if he kicks this, we've got a ball game.
We saw a side behind by 23 points with 6 minutes to go last night.
Tell me how that happens.
Here's Darcy.
Oh, no.
Well, it's now 28 points.
Well, that was the one they did need.
Yeah.
But the intensity hasn't really dropped off. The Bulldogs, and this, you talk about the spirit of the Bulldogs, it's not always front-running spirit, is it? Sure, they credit where credit's due. They do. They're still gritting their teeth here in this game anyway.
Well, they've been renowned as back-to-the-wall side, but I think you've got to get better than that.
Oh, no doubt about that.
And let's remember Melbourne have had a couple of serious injuries they've had to contend with. It's smashed over the back by Troy Simmons. White had a crack at it, but he couldn't take the mark. Here's Hunter, he's a long way out. Gets away from McDonald, pops it in towards the pocket. Perhaps a little too far for Albie. And over the line in the left forward pocket.
I tell you what, sure, the Western Bulldogs have to do over the break is make some very, very hard, tough decisions about their player personnel. They're going to have to hurt a few people when they make those decisions.
Well, tell us, Dougie, in a couple of minutes how many you reckon they should drop off and who.
Thank you very much, Tony Shaw.
We'll work on that as Croft picks it up, and Croft might go for goal here. From 55 out, Johnson drops back and takes the mark, and he'll kick. Oh, he wanted to. He wanted to, Jono.
Thought about it.
Well, he'll kick this one, so it brings it back to 22 with 9 minutes remaining. They're still hanging on, the Dogs. They are still hanging on.
Well, I tipped this. Oh, good one.
Father's Day affects different people in different ways.
I'll run up past you. There was a Halloween theme earlier in the day, so I thought I'd go with them. Look, this is very impressive by the Bulldogs. That was good direct footy. Croft has seen that a long kick to the goal square. Johnson, that was a kick to the favoured side of his teammate. And he thought about it, Jono. He thought about, I might just sneak it through here, but that wasn't to be. The Doggies are certainly in this with a chance. Big chance.
36 goals scored so far for the day. The Dogs are hanging on. It was 42 points not so long ago. It is now 22. And time not yet into the equation. Darcy and White. White floats it out towards Leoncelli off to McDonald, who gets a hurried kick towards Woden. Smith could have almost been held, but he's quick to recover. Smashes, he gets his kick, but he's got it down to Darcy. Darcy's got to get over Brown. He does to Eagleton. Eagleton gets an awful bounce, but he'll go again. He's all taken high. And Eagleton will take the free kick. 47 metres out from goal. And he can celebrate his 100th game. He's had 56 games with Port Adelaide, 44 with the Doggies. What a nice little present this one would be.
And Fish, you know, sometimes when you play the game, I saw him play last week, where things just don't go right.
Yeah.
Like even that bounce to Eagleton, he should have ran into 20 yards and kicked the goal. It bounces back away from him. That's the sort of couple of weeks he's had in football.
Well, here he goes. This is a big kick. He kicks from 50. He's kicked a lovely goal, and the Doggies are still here.
Well, oh yeah, turned this game on its ear, the Doggies, and they've given it another lease of life, kicked into another gear. Eagleton been a bit of a maligned player over the latter half of the season. He's been touted as a possible trade for the Doggies. The bounce of the ball frustrated everyone in the stands. The high tackle was there by Simmons. Always hard when you got a 6'6" guy trying to lay a tackle on a 5'6" guy. And the ultimate price was paid, Sandy.
Inside 50 this quarter, the Western Bulldogs 13, Melbourne 4. And at the 8-minute mark of this final quarter, Melbourne led by 43 points. They desperately need a steadier towards Neitz and Ellis. Waiting down Green. He can't get a kick. Farmer, the wizard. What can he produce here? Green tries to sock off the ground, but he can't get a crack at it. Farmer asks the question. He's got it. The wizard asks the question, and he's going to have a shot.
Free kick.
That is a joke.
Oh, golly. Can you believe it? He has reversed it. Murphy. Oh, no.
This can't be happening.
This has everything. Murphy. Oh, that's deliberate.
That has to be a free kick against. It is.
Well, Melbourne fans still coming to grips with the turnover in the forward pocket with the wizard.
It's hard for them to keep up the pace of the game.
Sandy, I talked about the saddle before. That's pretty hard to get rid of a ball with a bloke sitting on your back.
That's very much Brett Preble.
Oh, Silver.
Here's Jeff White.
Yeah, Tonto would have been happy there.
What a finish.
Tonto? Where did Tonto
He
get
was the
him?
horse. 16 points. Where's Neitz? Neitz is at the back. He's got it! That is a big mark. 2 against 1. There was no fist.
Well, it could have been 50 there. He had the ball punched over his hands pretty late, but regardless, he's dead in front.
Matthew Robbins.
Great mark in a pack.
Matthew Robbins here, I think, went for the mark instead of punching the ball, and he had a fair bit of it. And that's what he's telling the umpire.
But he shouldn't have gone for the mark up.
Exactly.
Sure, he really should have gone for the punch. The
I agree,
spoil
Fish.
is the only option. It's the only disciplined option.
Oh, might be just a little make-good for the wizard. It's a captain's goal that is required, and it's a captain's goal that is kicked. Neitz gets his 4th. And boy, do they need a steadier.
They certainly did, and we thought Farmer was going to get it for them, but
Different angle here. Oh, plenty of hands on from Robbins, but normally in a pack situation like that, they pay the mark. This should have been punched, no doubt.
Well, Neitz has the presence of mind to go for it. 4 goals, a good return for the skipper. He's kicked them when they've needed them.
Neil Danaher has never beaten the Dogs while he's been coaching Melbourne. Today might just be his day. Alvey out of the middle for the Western Bulldogs. Down towards the half-forward line. Here's Grant. He can kick the quick reply. He lines up, he steadies, and he misses! Well, it would have hit the post, but it was touched right on the line.
Oh, yeah. He just realised in the last second, didn't he, Shorey, that he could go on onto his right foot. I think he was thinking left foot. Now I've got time. He had to look.
Maybe he gave himself too much time because he is a very good left foot kick.
We've seen him kick a left foot goal like that often, haven't we?
Yeah, when it's natural and you just go with the flow, normally you, convert fairly well. Had too much time on that occasion.
Here's Uze tucked in the back pocket.
The use just hasn't been as prevalent in this quarter after a bolter third quarter.
15 kicks, 4 hand passes, 8 marks. Goes to a fairly congested centre wing. Simmons was a flyer. At the back is Smith chasing his Woden. Centering in the middle towards Croft, who sneaks away from the Ox. Goes in towards Dimartino. He's got to get over White. They've got the loose man. He goes down towards Gian Siracusa. He doesn't hold it off. He gives it off quickly towards the youngster in McMahon, who chips to the goal kicker in Kingsley Hunter.
Well, I don't mean to sound biased towards one side there. I'm just barracking the way for the young fella just to hold it because the other guy was running on. He could dish it over the top, which he did.
You want a good contest.
That's all I'm after. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon of the football.
We've had that. Hunter for 7 goals for the day. 40 out, flat-looking helicopter punt. It's not how, it's how many in goal from the same in footy, and he's kicked it.
Well, Scotty West has had 10 possessions in this quarter, so he's been a driving force out of the middle of the ground. Rowan Smith going back to the half-back line too. Di Martina receives the ball in the middle and gets it to Guido Giansiracusa, who gives it to Jordan McMahon, as you said, the future of the club. And Jordan McMahon could have had a ping then, but I thought, well, so these men can balance and have a good shot on goal. Kingsley Hunter, 7 goals, a great return. Adem coming from the ground.
Uze off and Johnston on. Uze on the phone. West again. Here's another possession. Oh, he's got Dimmer loose on left half 40. He just about go all the way. He's 52 metres out. He goes for goal. It's a long bomb and he's kicked it.
He's just no mind, I think. He just came out of nowhere. He jumped up to the 3rd level of the grandstand to find himself with a paddock. And whether he's used his voice or not, I'm not sure. But White with yet another hit out. It's gone through the legs of Leoncelli, which is a little unfortunate. West has found it. I'm not sure if that was voice or just beautiful vision on Scott West's behalf. 11th possession for the quarter for West. Great goal to Paul Di Martina. What a game.
9 points the margin.
That was a direct result of Uze coming from the ground because Travis Johnson went back in the defence and did not man up Di Martina.
So here we go again, and it's Scotty West who blitzes it out of the middle. Brown for Melbourne will sock off the ground. He then gets taken to ground. Pushed wide towards West again. He leaves it for McMahon, the youngster, doing everything right. Kicks to half forward. Could have almost been a free kick to Ward, but it doesn't come his way. Leoncelli is there as well to apply the tackle, and there will be a bounce deep in the Dogs' attacking zone. Under 5 minutes remaining, and 9 points the margin.
17-6 inside 50s, the Western Bulldogs' way.
What a turnaround! What a turnaround this quarter.
At the 8-minute mark of the quarter, Melbourne led by 43 points. Johnston towards Robertson. He's got to beat a couple. He smashes towards the line and Croft sees it over there and Murphy is there as well. That's Russell Robertson.
Good play by Russell Robinson.
Yeah, this is a 2-on-1 situation and Robbo summed it up pretty well. Played the percentages.
4.5 minutes remaining, boys. Who are you picking?
Well, Fish already gave away the Western Bulldogs about 10 minutes ago, Sandy. So
that's correct, yes.
You're feeling you're ganging up on me, you blokes.
Grant takes it from Darcy. He wants Johnson. Picked it up nicely on the half volley, but then had no chance of disposing of that ball, as he was well claimed by Andrew Leoncelli.
No, I haven't been prepared to weigh in one way or the other at this point in time. I have to contest with you blokes.
Perhaps if you could hop off the fence.
I think the Demons may hold steady. I tell you what, I don't trust this one.
Well, it's not over yet. Eagleton goes again, tumbling it to full forward, but there's no one home. And Jeff White marks on the very last line of defence. Hunter will be brought back. White will go short to Schwarz. Now he's got Ward if he wants him. He could go over the top. He's still got Ward. He's got to go for him.
Yep.
I don't know how long they think they've got in the quarter.
They've got longer than a little possession game starting now, if that's what they're thinking. He's got to go long, and he does, towards White. Hunter is there with him. White comes in from the side. Oh, Hunter was at the back, but he couldn't take the mark, and Johnson is more than content to just see it over the line.
Well, I think that was smart play. Ward has held it up long enough to allow a lot of teammates to congregate for the long kick down the line, and that was pretty smart football.
Darcy, White, Simmons. No one clear. Grant almost caught one. White beautifully done to Simmons, and he's away. Simmons through the middle he goes. He runs his full distance and he spears a pass in towards Neitz. No one with him, Cooey, but he's got to pick the darn thing up. He does now, but he kicks blindly, and Murphy should be able to save. Robertson is there, sees it over the line for one behind.
It's only going to take 2 straight kicks for the Bulldogs to pinch this, and what a weekend of football we've had. This is the icing on the cake for us, this one.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And it's finals time starting next week. What a pipe opener. Smith comes towards Eagleton. Eagleton's in the back pocket. He runs down to the half-back line, then goes long, but it's a poorly directed kick. And Schwarz takes the juggling mark. A tired David Schwarz, but he's done his job today. 10 marks, 17 kicks and 6 hand passes.
Well, they're looking up at the scoreboard clock, obviously, and seeing 30 minutes gone.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of time on yet. Don't worry, boys. They've still got over 2 minutes remaining. He thinks about Funky short. He's ignored. And Brown just chips away towards centre wing.
Well, those tired Bulldogs legs who have given it everything in this quarter have just got to do everything they can to have a man.
Oh,
well, he's going to go. Ward's going to go all the way back to Schwarz. He's at half back.
I'll tell you what, that
was a dangerous kick.
That's playing with
and
fire.
He's going to give it back to him again.
Oh, 50 metres. Has to be 50 metres. Oh, no.
Daniel Ward hasn't missed a game this season. The clock is ticking down. Time rapidly becoming the Bulldogs' enemy. He goes long towards Walsh and Co on centre wing. Here's Brown. Little bit of fancy work in that area, and he does well. Goes onto the left foot towards Neitz. Nicely done on the half volley. They've got it on the outer side over the line with McDonald, and we've got another throw in. 21-7 plays 19-9. Melbourne leading by 9 points. 10 points. 123 plays 133. Schwarz uses his strength and goes with a big bomb, but it's wide.
He's latched onto that, hasn't he?
Out of bounds on the full. So the Dogs now have a minute.
Yes, the Demons may prevail, but the Doggies have certainly made a game out of this one in the last quarter when the Demons threatened to run away. Nearly about 7 goals in front at one stage early in this quarter.
Yep. McMahon's kick goes up towards centre wing. Chris Grant was his target, and it's taken over the line.
Just young Simmons, Troy, he looks a lot better across halfback where he gets a bit of help. He's never going to be a full back, I don't think, but across halfback, he might be able to play on certain types to go to centre half forward.
Well, he shows a bit of dash. He's pretty mobile for his size. There's no doubt with that one.
Darcy, Schwarz again with strength. Threads his way through with a hand pass to McDonald. McDonald gives it back to Simmons. From a standing start, he goes long. The Wizard couldn't take the mark. White was waiting down. Is this the last roll of the dice for the Dogs? Smith lost it at the critical stage. Walsh shows courage, but he's caught up by Croft. Croft playing his 149th game. Comes the way of Eagleton. He goes into the middle of Scott West. Caught! Gets his kick, though, down towards Johnson. A kind bounce for Brad Johnson. He's got to go all the way, but he's tackled late. Kicks towards full forward. Broadbridge, the effective spoiler. Johnston picks up the crumbs and just decides to cruise from one back pocket to the other. And there he finds Troy Broadbridge. They're home now. Broadbridge thinks about McDonald and then decides to go straight down the middle and find Simon Godfrey as the siren sounds to end an absolute thriller. The Demons finally put 3 wins together for the first time this year.
What a game, and those 2 men on screen.
The final score, Melbourne 21-7, 133. 10-point victors over the Bulldogs, 19-9, 123.
Well, what a match. The D's running out winners by 10 points. And wasn't in a fiery contest. 7 players were reported. Neitz would have to front the tribunal on 3 separate charges. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. Remember, Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs meet again for round 5 of AFL football. So check your local TV guide for screening times and catch all the action right here on Fox Footy Channel.